This video has tons of Christmas crafts inspiration for you. Let's get started.
I'm going to remove the jute string as well as the little silver portion from the top. And then I tried to remove the paper. I'm rarely very successful at that, so I just pulled out my electric sander, sanded it down to remove the design, and then of course I wiped it down really well because we don't want any dust from the sanding on it. I'm going to take the Rust-Oleum Farmhouse Red and I'm going to give it 2 coats. Once the paint was dry, I am going to take painter's tape and I am going to paint one stripe in the center black using Waverly chalk paint in the ink. And then I'm going to remove it and reveal the line. We are going to make a little Santa ornament, Santa belt ornament. Now I'm going to take this leftover piece of vinyl that I had. It has this very golden glittery tone, which would be perfect for a belt buckle. I created one using my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to place it right in the center. And then I'm going to take these socks from Dollar Tree. I love the striped look. I'm definitely going to grab more because I have so many ideas with these socks. I cut off a little strip from the top and I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom and the top of the belt buckle.
We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
I decided to spray paint the little silver portion with this metallic golden tone spray paint. And once it was dry, I'm just going to hot glue it to the top. And it turned out really well. It's not the same golden tone as the belt buckle, but it works well. I'm going to add some of these little picks from Dollar Tree. They were part of a larger pick and I decided to cut off a few little branches and I am going to hot glue into the top as well as these little berries are also from Dollar Tree. I love the size of them and that they're deep red. I really like that color. I decided to add one more little branch on the other side and one more little berry just to kind of fill it up and finish it off. I am going to add, instead of ribbon, I am going to add pipe cleaners to this one and it's going to be in the golden tone. I'm going to twist it on the top and then I'm going to slide down that knot to behind the ornament and then I'm going to twist it in the top and that way I can really control how that ornament is going to hang. And I am loving this ornament. I just love that little belt buckle. What a cute way to upgrade these ornaments. For the next Dollar Tree craft, I am going to take another one of those ornaments, remove everything, sand down the top, once again, wipe it down. And this time I'm going to take this spackle. This is also from Dollar Tree. I know it was a little bit dry, so I'm just going to add a little bit of Mod Podge, just kind of soften it a little bit. I don't want it runny by all means, but I do need it to be a little bit more softer. Now I'm going to take this huge stencil, but I'm only going to use the snowflake portion of it. I'm going to place it in the center and then I'm going to start applying the spackle. This is going to give me a raised stencil look. I've done this many times on my channel here and I love using these stencils to do it. These stencils are reusable and you can find them on Amazon all the time. So once I had the spackle applied on it, I'm going to remove the stencil and you can actually see it in person so much better. Once it was dry, I'm going to paint it white. We're going to keep this one very neutral, very wintry, kind of winter wonderland Christmas style. Once the paint was dry, I'm going to take this pick. It has some white berries on them and it almost looks frosted, which I thought went really well with the theme of this ornament. I'm going to cut off 2 separate little branches. I'm first going to attach that little silver portion once again and then going to start hot gluing those little branches. Now, to make sure that they lay flat on the surface, I'm going to cut off the little leaves that are underneath the branch. That way it's going to lay nice and flat. So I'm just going to place this last one here and then it's time to take this little bell. Now I love this ornament, but I have other plans for it. So I'm just going to remove the little bell from it and hot glue it right onto the center. I think that really adds that nice wintry white neutral look that I was looking for this ornament. For this one, I'm going to place one of these silver pipe cleaners, doing the same thing, twist it on top, slide it to the back and then twist it right there on the top. And that way it's going to be finished. Boy, this one is gorgeous. It's not traditional Christmassy colors, but a lot of people decorate with this winter wonderland look, and I think this would be perfect. For the next DIY, I am going to take these ornaments. I got these one on Amazon, and I want to show you so that you can compare prices as well as quality with the ones with Dollar Tree. So they're about the same size. I found them. They are 100 in each pack or in each box, and they're for $25, $24.99. So they're essentially 24 cents each instead of $1.25 from Dollar Tree. Just keep that in mind. If you can get these on Amazon, I do have them down in the description box and also in my Amazon store, so check it out. All right, so we're going to take one of those ornaments, and we're going to take this Dollar Tree dusting mop, and I'm going to cut off a piece from it. I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom of the ornament. Then we are going to cut off the shape of the bottom of the beard, what it will be, and I'm just going to shape it a little bit more like a V shape because we're creating a little gnome, which I think is going to be so adorable. Now I'm going to take one of those socks once again, and I'm just going to cut off the piece on top. I'm going to slide the sock right from the top. That way this is going to be the hat of the gnome. I am then going to take some hot glue, and I'm just going to glue this bead. It was already stained in this darker tone, which I thought was perfect because it really stands out. I'm just going to hot glue it right there in the center. I did add hot glue to the hat so that way it's not going to come off. Now I'm going to take some of that baker's twine that came with the ornaments, and I'm going to tie a piece on the top to create that little hat effect. And then I'm going to add this little pom-pom. I have no clue where it came from, but I'm going to add it. The floral section at Dollar Tree right now for Christmas is insane. I love the colors. I love all the branches and picks that they have available, including this one. I'm going to cut off a couple of pieces, a smaller one and a taller one, and then I'm just going to hot glue them underneath that pom-pom. And then I'm going to add one of these little berries once again right underneath just to add a little bit more texture. Now, do this part before you add the decor. I should have done it before. But basically, you just want to tie it around. This is where we can hang the ornament from. And this one is stunning. It's actually a pretty large size. Now, I did it with the Amazon ornament, but you can certainly do it with one of those Dollar Tree ones. I love it. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to go back to one of those Dollar Tree ornaments, and we're going to remove everything from it. This time we're not going to sand it down because we are going to use this piece of scrap peel and stick wallpaper that I had left over from another craft, and we're going to cover the front with it. I'm just going to place it right on top, and then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut off the excess wallpaper, and then I am going to sand down the edges to make sure that everything's going to be nice and smooth. So now we're going to take this branch. This is one of those little garland ties that you can find at Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of about 12 or so. I'm going to use it and make a little tiny wreath with it. I'm just going to twist around the excess part of it. And then once I have it in place, I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of the ornament. We're going to create just a mini wreath. Once it's there, then we're going to add some decor on top. We're going to take this ribbon from Dollar Tree that has snowflakes on it. I'm going to make a very simple bow, make sure it's in an appropriate size, and then hot glue it to the top.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other.
And now I'm going to take one of these berries. These are frosted. They're also from Dollar Tree. Beautiful berries, such a large size. I'm going to hot glue one right in the center. I thought something else was needed, so I'm going to grab these little frosted berry picks from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue one on each side of the bow, and then take one extra little berry and hot glue it to the bottom. That way everything kind of comes together, and I think it did really well. So now it's time to replace that little silver portion of it. So I'm just going to hot glue it in place and set it there. And then we're going to use the same ribbon from the bow, and we're just going to thread it through the hole. And once again, we're just going to tie it in the knot, then slide it to the back, and that way you can't see it from the front. And I think this one is one of my favorites from today's very traditional colors. I love the little wreath, and I love how simple but yet festive it is.
And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. Cause all I want is to spend this day.
For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take another one of those Dollar Tree ornaments. I'm going to remove everything. And this I'm going to sand down a little bit, just the edges. And then I'm going to spray the surface of it with this Elmer's adhesive spray from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to place this canvas fabric right on top. Once it was secure, I am going to cut off the excess using my scissors as well as an X-Acto knife for very close. And it's not perfect. It's really hard to get in there to the edge when you are using fabric, but it worked really well actually. I'm going to distress and kind of antique the edges using a makeup sponge and some antiquing wax by Waverly. This is just going to add some more dimension. I'm going to put my safety glove here because we're going to use my drill to drill a couple of holes on each side of the ornament. It's going to be like on the side, but on the top of the sides. And this is because we're creating a little Rudolph reindeer. I'm going to take these little branches, they're just branches, and I'm going to cut off some pieces that I'm hoping it fits right in the holes, and when I dry fit them, they actually fit. So I was really excited that it fit. Once I had them in place, I haven't glued them yet, but I'm just going to cut off some of the excess branches. That way everything's going to be nice and even. Once I knew everything looked good, I'm just going to add a little dot of glue in each hole and place the branches right inside. I recently saw an ornament on Pinterest that had Rudolph nose, and it was like extra large, and I just thought how cute would that be to do something similar on this ornament. So I'm going to use the Rust-Oleum Farmhouse Red and an angled brush, and I'm just going to start freehanding a huge red nose on this reindeer. And once I had it, I am going to then make a couple of eyes using Sharpies. This is just permanent marker from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to make a couple of eyes and then a mouth. And then I'm going to add some white details just to kind of mimic some like lighting on the eyes and the nose. And now I'm just going to place that silver portion with hot glue. For the string to hang the ornament from, I decided to use this baker's twine that I already had on hand. It has a little bit more of a jute twine look to it, which I thought looked great with the color of the ornament. And I'm just going to thread it through twice so I can have like 4 strings. And then I'm going to do the same thing, tie it, and then swing it all the way to the back. And then we're going to have something to hang it from. And I think it turned out so adorable. I love the way this one turned out. It's one of my kids' favorite. I love, love, love it. But now I got my eye set on you. I'm not gonna play it safe. For the next Christmas craft, I am going to take one of those Amazon ornaments and I'm going to give it 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white. Now I'm going to take a piece of scarf that I had in my stash from last year's crafts, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top and the back, and we're going to create a little hat because we're making a snowman. I just thought I need to make a snowman. Last year I made one with some wood slices and it was a hit and everyone loved it, and I thought let me make a different one, but it's still going to be a snowman. Once I had the hat nice and secure, we're going to stuff it with some pillow stuffing. We're going to do the front and the back, and then we're going to tie the top with some yarn to create that little hat effect. And then once again, we're going to take a piece of that sock once again, and we're just going to cut off the portion that's white. And then we're going to cut it open so I have a longer strip. And I'm going to draw a nose. At first, I did it a little too small. This is a paint marker from Artisa. Then I had to make it a lot larger. It was just too little. And once I had it finished, I am going to hot glue that piece of sock right onto the rim of the hat. This is just going to make it look a lot more cozy. I'm going to add one of these bells from Dollar Tree. I love that these bells are not really shiny. They have like a sheen, but I love the color. They are so high-end looking. I love them. I'm just going to hot glue one right there on the top of the hat. I contemplated using a little greenery and I didn't, but I think it looked cute anyways. I'm going to use this little foundation brush and this paste. You can use any pink or little like beige color paint that you may have on hand. I created some little rosy cheeks for my little snowman here. I added a pipe cleaner in the back so we can hang it. And look how stinking cute he is. I love the way this one turned out. For the next Christmas craft, I'm going to take another one of those Amazon ornaments, and I'm going to take this piece of scrap peel and stick wallpaper that I still had on hand from another project, and I'm going to cover one side of it. It has a great look like faux wood, and I'm just going to cut off the excess once again using my X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to sand down those edges to give it a smooth finish. Now I'm going to take this little reindeer ornament from Dollar Tree. I think they're so cute, but the little wreath around his neck could be a little bit better, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take another one of those garland ties, and I'm going to wrap it around his neck, cut off the excess, and just twist it around until it's a little bit more tight and snug on him. And then we're just going to add some embellishments. This is just going to give it that same look that it already had, but it's going to be a little bit more elevated. I'm going to add one of those frosted berries right onto it, and then I'm going to take the same little bell that already had on it, and I'm going to hot glue it right next to it. I am then going to hot glue the reindeer right in the center of the ornament, and we're just about done. I did add a little bead on his nose to make it look like Rudolph and a white pipe cleaner so that we can hang it, and I think it's adorable. It's actually one of my daughter's favorite. I love the way this one turned out. Such an easy way to upgrade this ornament. For this next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I am going to take this ornament again from Dollar Tree. I removed everything from it, and I'm going to take some white vinyl from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just cover one side. Now, it's really kind of see-through, so I did have to add 2 pieces of vinyl to make sure that I had full coverage and that you're not going to see the bottom design. And that's what I did. It wasn't hard. I just doubled it up. And then, of course, using my X-Acto knife, I cut off the excess vinyl, and I sanded it down for a smooth finish. Now I'm going to take some additional vinyl that I already had on hand. This one's a little bit more of in burgundy. I'm also going to take a glittery blue one as well as a black and white buffalo check. And I'm just going to cut off about 1-inch thick pieces. And then I'm going to cut them in triangles. We're going to mimic some trees. This ornament is going to have a little bit more of a modern look to it. So I'm just going to cut off the trees to match in size. And then I'm going to remove the backing from them. And I'm just going to place them right on top of each other, kind of like next to each other.
Let's go outside.
I'm going to place that silver portion right on top with hot glue. And then we're going to add some greenery. Again, these are just pieces of greenery from Dollar Tree picks that I found recently. And I'm going to hot glue one on each side. And then Dollar Tree came out with these stickers. You know I love Dollar Tree stickers. And they came out with a whole line of Christmas ones. And they have these little snowflakes. I'm just going to place one right in the center. Place a silver pipe cleaner to hang it with, and I love it. It's definitely not traditional decor, but many people love more modern looks, and this one definitely has it.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling.
For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take another one of those Dollar Tree ornaments. I removed everything from it already, and I'm going to take more of that glittery blue vinyl from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut off a piece of it, and I'm just going to place it in the front of it. Once again, I'm just going to cut off the excess using my X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to sand it down once again for a smooth finish. We're going to make more of a white and blue theme color here. We're going to take a couple of these little foam balls from Dollar Tree, and we're going to hot glue them together to make a little snowman. I think it's so stinking cute. Once I had them in place and dried, I am going to take one of these white and red pipe cleaners. It already came like this. I thought it was so cute. I'm going to cut off the excess from it, and then I'm going to twist it because that's going to look like a little scarf. Then I'm going to take the leftover scarf from earlier, and I'm going to make a little tiny hat for my snowman. I'm going to hot glue it to all around the head, and then tie the top with some yarn to give it that hat effect. I tilted the hat a little bit more to the right and then hot glued it so that it can have a little bit more of a tilt. Now I'm going to take some more of those little snowflake stickers. These are the smaller ones, and I'm going to place 3 of them on one side and 1 on the other side of the snowman. And then I'm going to hot glue the snowman onto the ornament. I replaced that little silver portion and added a white pipe cleaner so that we can hang it from. And look how beautiful this is. It has more of a snow globe kind of feel to it, and I love the way this one turned out. For the next Christmas craft, I'm going to take one of those Amazon ornaments and I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red. This one's going to be very high class, high end looking. I'm going to then take these little gold leaves. Now the paint is already dry. I'm going to Mod Podge the top of it and I'm going to place some of these gold leaves right on top. And then once I have them attached, I'm going to take a small brush and just remove the excess gold leaf. It's really easy, but it's kind of messy. I'm not going to lie. Then once I had that done, I am going to just place some random, almost distressed look onto the actual ornament. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to take the Mod Podge. I'm just going to add it on several places on the ornament, place the gold leaves, and then remove the excess. I'm going to add some greenery here and this little bell once again, just right in the center. I'm going to add a pipe cleaner to it as well. And it's going to be in the golden tone, of course, because it matches the whole theme. But tell me this one does not look so high end. I love the way it turned out. I think the possibilities are endless with this gold leaf. Again, it's a little messy, but I really love the way I had just put these out and I grabbed several. I'm going to put the legs to the side because we're not going to need those. I'm going to fluff one here first and I'm just going to fluff the top and the sides. I'm going to leave the back side flat because we don't need it to fluff. Then I'm going to take a second one and do the same exact thing. I'm also not going to need the bases for them, so I am going to remove that as well. What we're going to try to create here is just a beard for a gnome, and this is going to be a pretty large gnome. All of these crafts are going to be the kind of crafts that you can actually sell for a profit or even keep if you'd like. So as you can tell right now, I'm just kind of joining them together and just joining the top bristles together and then fluffing them like if they're just one large tree. And then I'm going to take some zip ties and I'm just going to join them together permanently. And these zip ties you can find at Dollar Tree. I love finding these because they're actually pretty durable and they come a ton in a pack. So here I'm just taking 2 bristles from the inside and twisting them together to join them tighter. This little gnome was already like this at Dollar Tree. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I am going to remove the beard portion of it and I'm going to use my wire clippers. However, you can use scissors because the plastic is kind of soft. I just thought, let me save my scissors and just use my wire cutters. Now we have this little hat and the nose ready for its new covering. This sock, I recently did several DIYs with it. It is so versatile. I love the stripe look to it. And because it's so stretchy, it fits over the hat nicely. And then we're just going to hot glue it on the bottom. And once I had it nicely glued and secured, we are going to just take the top and just kind of scrunch it up. So pull it over, scrunch it up, take some yarn and just tie it with a simple knot. We're not going to see this part, so I'm not worried about it. So now it's time to attach the head to the beard. And we're just going to place it right on top just like that. I'm going to take more zip ties and I'm just going to thread it inside of the sock through the little wire or plastic inside of the hat, making sure that it's not going to poke through on the other side. So just make sure of that. And then we're just going to tighten it. And I'm just going to do one because it actually fit and tightened really well. I'm going to take this bulb from Dollar Tree and I'm going to remove the little part from top, cut off the excess little area there, and then we're just going to hot glue it to the top. This is just going to give it a little bit of detail on top. These picks from Dollar Tree are stunning. I love their selection this year. And I'm just going to grab a couple of the little sticks from the pick and we're just going to hot glue it underneath the bulb. I'm also going to add one of these pine cones from the Dollar Tree. Now, I felt like something was missing on the hat, and I have these mopping or dust mops, and I just love using them for Christmas decor. I'm going to cut off a long strip from one of the sides, and then I'm going to hot glue it right on top of the nose across the hat. Holidays and cheer, but now I got my eye set on you. After I cut off the sides, I decided that I wanted the beard to be lighted. I feel like any craft that you make that you add lights will sell quicker. So these lights I get on Amazon, and they are in my Amazon store, which is always linked down below. You get several in a pack, and they're just so versatile, and I love that they're very lightweight. I hot glued the little battery pack to the back of the hat, and now I am just going to just thread all the lights through the beard, and I think this gnome turned out so cute. I love how large it is, and I love how it is lighted. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I am going to take this little tin bucket with a Santa look to it. I got it recently at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take some of these rocks and just put them on the inside to give me a little bit of weight. And now I'm going to take some floral foam from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to place it right in there. I ended up adding hot glue later on, but I didn't show that, but I did add hot glue just for a more secure bond. Now I'm going to take two of the same trees, but this time they're the white ones. I'm going to fluff them to the sides, but I'm not going to do the top or the bottom because we are going to put them right on top of each other. I'm sure you've seen this done before. Basically, we are going to create a thicker, fuller tree by joining them together. So instead of side by side like we did the first two trees, this one's going to be one on top of each other. And again, we're going to use some zip ties to secure everything in place. And then we're just going to stick it right inside the bucket all the way down to where it goes all the way through the rocks. And then we're going to start fluffing the tree, but fluffing as if it was one tree. Now, I thought I needed a little bit more of dimension. There was just a lot of white going on. So I wanted to add these greenery frosted pigs. It had these little white berries that I thought would bring everything together. I'm just going to take 3 of them. It's just what I had left. And I'm going to hot glue them in between the bristles, making sure that they all face towards the front of the tree. Now I'm going to take some of these red bulbs from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take larger ones for the bottom of the tree, then medium-sized ones for the middle of the tree, and then a smaller one for the top one. And this is how it turned out. I did add some of that dusting mop to the bottom of the bucket to add some fullness, but I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take one of these beautiful jars. It has such a beautiful design on it. We're going to remove the cap and put that to the side. We're not going to use it. I'm going to take one more of those lights and I'm just going to place them right inside. Once I had the lights inside, I needed to find a way to attach the battery pack. Now, hot glue doesn't do well with glass in my opinion, so I'm just going to use some duct tape, and it actually did really well holding it together. I'm going to take this little snowman ornament that I thought was a pretty good size and so darling. I'm going to remove the greenery from it that it had originally, and I'm going to replace it with some larger ones from Dollar Tree. And now I'm going to take one of these bells that are at Dollar Tree currently. They have 9 in a pack, and they're not like very shiny. They do have a sheen, and I really love the way they look. I'm going to hot glue one to the top there, center, and then use the little pine cone that came with it originally. Now I'm going to take some hot glue and just place some on the rim of the jar and then place the snowman head right on top. I think it's turning out so cute. Now I do want to cover the thread from the jar, so I have this piece of leftover scarf from another project. I thought it would be perfect to add a scarf and then leave the little yarn just hanging down. I thought that added some really cool texture. I'm going to hot glue it in place, cut off the excess, and then I'm going to add a pine cone just to add a little something to the front. And that's it for this one. I loved the way this little snowman turned out. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the dark. I think it's so sticking cute. I am going to sell it in the craft show. I love it. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take this door that I found at the Dollar Tree Plus when I was away on vacation. It was $5 and it has a fall theme, so we're going to turn it into a Christmas door. I'm going to remove the gather from it. I'm also going to remove the florals as well as the handle because we are going to sand it down smooth and give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red. I do not have a Dollar Tree Plus here locally, but I would love to know if you have one where you're at. Do you like it? Do you think it's worth it? Let me know down in the comments. So once the paint was dry, I am going to sand down the edges just a little bit with the sanding block from Dollar Tree. It's just going to give it a little bit more dimension, really make those angles pop, and also give it a little bit more of a farmhouse look, which is what I wanted for this door. Once I had it nice and distressed, I am going to dust it really well because chalk paint, as you know, always throws a lot of dust everywhere. So I just want to make sure it's dust free. Now I'm going to replace that handle back on it with the same hardware, and I contemplated spray painting it, but I left it because it had a little bit of a distressed look, which looked great with the door. Now I'm going to bring in this wreath form from Target Dollar Spot. I get them every season. They bring them in every style. They're $3 and I really love crafting with them. Now I'm going to take this ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's a buffalo check black and red ribbon. And I'm going to make a double loop, very simple bow with some legs. I'm going to tie it in the center with some jute string. So funny story with this bow. This bow must have been the most fluffed bow on this planet. So I'm going to count with you how many times I fluff it. This is the first time. I just thought it was the funniest thing as I'm editing. I'm thinking, how many times do I have to fluff this bow? All right, so once the bow is done, I am going to hot glue it onto the top of the wreath form. I'm going to dovetail each leg. That way it looks nice and finished. I'm going to fluff it for the second time, making sure it's pretty. I'm going to take this Noel ornament from Dollar Tree. I think it's beautiful. I am going to remove the little decor from it. And then I'm going to take some wire and I'm just going to thread it through the holes that were already on it and secure it to the top of the wreath form. And then I am going to hot glue it to the bottom of it. And of course, I have to fluff in between attaching this Noel ornament.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down and
I am going to take one of these little pine cones from a Dollar Tree and I'm just going to hot glue it right there underneath the bow. I just felt like it was missing something. And then it's time to attach the wreath form. Now the wood door is not really wood and it's too thin to put a screw on it. So I thought I'm just going to put some ribbon to the top of the wreath form and that way I can hang it on the door on the back of it. So I'm going to flip it over and I decided to thread it through the little hook that is already on there to hang the door. That way it's not interfering. I'm going to hot glue it as well as tape it.
So much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile as quirky as mine.
And we're just about done. I just got to fluff it for the 4th time. And then that's it. I think this door is absolutely stunning. I love the color. I love the style. I think it looks so much better than fall themed. But what do you think? Let me know. I would love to know. We're going to start with this piece of cardboard I cut off of one of the boxes. And I am just going to create a Christmas tree shape. And I'm just going to use my ruler here. And I'm going to make several lines triangle shaped. And then I'm going to use this brand new blade knife that I gotta say I am loving. It's in my Amazon store, so it is linked down below if you want to take a look at it. But it is so sharp. I love the angle. It's really comfortable. All right, so as you can see, I'm just making some lines and using my ruler and my pencil. And then I'm going to use the blade knife to just cut it. And then I'm going to use the first tree to trace a second tree and cut it just the same. Keep in mind that you can do any tree shape you want. This is just one I thought would be really easy and quick to do to keep it simple, but you can certainly use any tree shape you want. I am now going to mark the center of the bottom and I'm just going to cut from the top to bottom, splitting one of the trees in half. Now we have 3 pieces. I'm going to cover these 3 pieces using this paper craft that I got recently at Hobby Lobby. It's green with polka dots and I just thought it was beautiful. I'm just going to hot glue it, but you can certainly use spray adhesive. You can use Mod Podge, whatever you'd like. But hot glue actually worked for me on this one. I'm going to cover the front as well as the back of each tree. Once I had them cut, I am going to then hot glue the half pieces to the sides of the large tree. This is going to create a 3D tree and look like almost like the tree is sliced in between, but it's not, it's just hot glued. Now I'm just going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the white and I'm just going to lighten up some of those edges because you can still see some of the box. No big deal, I actually like it, but adding the white paint just really adds it a little bit more of a bright color. I love this tree. I put it first because it is absolutely my favorite. It's so easy to make. Anyone can do it. For the next Christmas hack, I am going to take this bowl and I'm going to trace 2 of them on this large piece of cardboard. Then I'm going to make kind of like a rectangle. We're just going to make some oversized, large, round ornaments. I'm going to use my blade knife again to cut each piece. Once I have the first cut, I am going to use that one as a guide to help me cut the second one, at least the top part, so that way both ornaments have a pretty similar shape and size. And once again, I'm going to go in this craft paper book that I recently got at Hobby Lobby. Beautiful designs, and I'm going to grab 2 of them that kind of really complement each other, but they're not the same. I'm going to Mod Podge this one right onto each piece. I'm just going to brush it on, and then just make sure that I'm brushing until the Mod Podge feels almost sticky, and then I'm going to place the paper. And then once I have it attached, I'm just going to cut off the edge and the excess using the blade knife, and I'm going to do the same thing to the second one.
Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing.
I am now going to use my sanding block, and I'm just going to lightly sand the edges going downward. This is just going to give me a smoother edge and transition into the cardboard very nicely. I'm going to take some tin foil and I'm just going to hot glue the top to mimic that metal portion of the ornaments. Now be very careful when you're hot gluing because the tin foil does get really hot, so just make sure you're very, very careful. So I'm just going to wrap it all the way around and then hot glue it in the back to secure it, and do the same thing to the second one so they both look similar. I do want to antique these ornaments so that they match the design of the paper. So I'm going to use some Waverly antiquing wax and a makeup sponge to sort of antique the edges of the ornament as well as the tin foil. That way it has a little bit more of an antique look versus that bright silver. You can also dab and wipe as you need, especially in the tin foil if you add too much. I'm now going to use these wooden letters that I found at Hobby Lobby recently. They spell Merry Christmas, and I just thought that would be really cool for this set. I am going to hot glue them in place, and that way they're not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to hot glue both pieces together kind of at an angle because I want them to hang on the wall very nicely. I'm now going to take this Merry Christmas ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut a piece that is going to be large enough so that both ornaments can hang nicely. Hot glue was plenty sufficient because these are pretty light actually. I'm going to add some embellishments, some greenery here. This is some faux greenery that I've gotten from Amazon and some I believe from Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to keep hot gluing some with berries, and then I'm going to add a pine cone right in the center so to add more texture and color, and then one more frosted berry to the bottom just to finish it off. This one is stunning. I love the way this turned out. You can definitely make them like a lot more and then have them separated. Beautiful.
Neck is frozen, catch me rolling, I'm the chosen, snow is falling.
Before I show you the next Christmas hack, I just want to show you the blade knife. This is when I first opened it up, but look at the angle that it has on the handle. I just really love and how comfortable it is and how sharp it is. So again, it is linked down below if you want to check it out. All right, so I'm going to cut off another piece of this cardboard, and I'm just going to cut off just a piece, just working with what I have. If you're going to recreate something like this, just keep in mind that you can use whatever size you want. I'm going to cut 3 triangles to look like Christmas trees. One's going to be larger, and the other 2 are going to be smaller, similar in size, but all different. Now I'm going to take these little popsicle sticks that I had on hand from when I did like cake pops, I think. And I'm just going to hot glue them to each back of each tree, leaving 1 inch of stick at the bottom. Now I'm going to use some hot glue in this very fluffy yarn that I got very kind of long time ago at Hobby Lobby, and I still had it on hand, and I just thought it would be perfect. But you can use yarn from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have on hand. You don't even have to use white. You can use whatever color you want. I'm just going to wrap each tree all the way up, hot gluing at the bottom as well as the top. And then I'm going to work my way back down just to cover any areas where you can still see the cardboard, but it also adds more texture and more fluffiness. All right, so I'm just going to hot glue the last piece here to the back of the tree. No big deal, just a little bit of hot glue does the work. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other two. I'm not going to show you, but they are going to be covered just like this. Now I'm going to take this little sign from Dollar Tree. They have larger ones, and this is one of the ones that are smaller. I'm also going to take a dusting mop from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the sign. And I'm just going to wrap it around with hot glue. This is going to give me the feeling of like a snow-covered ground so that we can place these trees on. Once I had it in place, I'm just going to drill 3 holes so that we can then hot glue each tree to the base. I'm going to do the larger one in the center and then the 2 smaller ones in the sides but towards the front. Once I had them in place, I'm just going to add some greenery. This greenery is from Dollar Tree, and I got to tell you, they have really stepped up the game with their greenery for this Christmas season. I am loving them. I'm just going to separate a lot of the branches from it. I'm just going to start hot gluing them here and there towards the front of the trees because everything is so white. I want these greenery to really be full and just lush, and I just want to add as many as I can and not make it look too crowded. Once I had the greenery where I wanted, I am going to add a poinsettia that I got at Dollar Tree. This is one of their larger ones that they have, and I think it's stunning. I love the contrast of the white and the red and the green. It's so traditional for Christmas. One of my favorites from today. For the next Christmas hack, I'm going to take a little piece of paper. It's going to be 2 inches by 2 inches. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut it on an angle from corner to corner. I'm going to keep the side that is folded and open it up into a triangle. Then I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and I'm going to trace a triangle right as you see me doing. And then I'm going to place a little dot right where the fold was. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to trace a line from the top of the triangle all the way down past that little dot. Then I'm going to take the triangle piece of paper and I'm going to just trace another one to each side. We're going to create a star. Recently, I was on Pinterest and I found this tutorial on how to make this 3D star. And I thought I have to try that. Now, the one they made was very large. This one's going to be a lot smaller. So here we are now tracing 5 of these triangles. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to trace lines from each corner of each triangle to the opposite corner that you see me doing here. Once I have them traced, I'm going to take the blade knife and I'm just going to cut off the star first. That's the first step. Once I had the star cut out, now I'm going to score each line in the center. What I might score is that I am going to use a blade knife, but I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to cut the top portion of the cardboard. And I'm going to do that to every line inside this star. This is going to give it a 3D look once we start to bend it. So we are going to bend the star going in and out, as you can see. And you're going to keep doing that until you have the star as you want it. Once I had it where I want it, I'm going to give it 1.5 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white. And the paint actually, once it dries, it makes it just kind of stay stiff. It worked really well. Now I'm going to take the antiquing wax and I'm going to antique it pretty heavily. You're going to see here that I add quite a bit more than what I wanted to, because then I'm going to dry brush more white paint to tone everything down but still have that beautiful distressed look. And then once I have it where I want it, I'm just going to let it fully dry. Let me tell you, this star is so pretty. Wait until you see the reveal. Before we do that, I am going to add some greenery. Just again, some picks from Dollar Tree, ones with the little red berries, and then a tiny little pine cone to finish it off. Now, this is going to be an ornament, so I am going to add some of this baker's twine to the back. I'm just going to tie it in a knot and then hot glue it to the top portion of the star. And that's it for this one. I love this one. It's so hard to choose. I know the first one was my favorite, and it still is, but this is a very close second. I love the way it turned out. The first craft with this cardboard, it's going to be first with this bowl, and I am going to use the same knife blade that I used last time. I got this recently. It's so good. The angle handle just makes such a big difference. I cut off one circle, as you can see, and then I'm going to use a smaller bowl, and I'm going to cut out another circle because we're going to create a wreath form. And we're just going to cut it off, and then we're going to have maybe about a 2-inch cardboard edge. We're going to put that one to the side because we're going to come back to it in a few. I'm going to use some of this fluffy white yarn that I got at Hobby Lobby recently, and we're going to wrap the entire thing. Yes, it's a little tedious, but let me tell you, it's so worth it. So I'm just going to wrap it around and around until everything is covered, making sure that it's as snug and tight as possible. I did go back and cover some of the areas where you can still see the cardboard, but it was no big deal. I just kind of went around a few times and hot glued it in place. This pick is from Target Dollar Spot. I found it recently. It was $3. I love the texture. I love how good of a quality it is. I am going to remove the little purple beads. It almost looked like blueberries. Maybe they were. I don't know. But I removed it because it just doesn't go with the theme. I'm going to hot glue it to the left side of the wreath form. And then I'm going to take these golden berries from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut 3 of the picks and hot glue them here and there until they look pretty nice and arranged. Then I am going to take this poinsettia. It's from Dollar Tree. It comes in a little pot. I'm going to remove the stem from it and just hot glue it right in the center. I've been loving these because the texture and the quality is really good and they're really large, so it just makes a statement. Then I'm going to take some of these glittery red picks from Dollar Tree, cut off some of the branches off, and hot glue several of them just here and there, again, just to create a nice arrangement. I like putting things in threes. I think it looks very even and natural, but you do whatever you like. I'm going to take some ribbon and I am going to place it on the top so that we can hang the wreath. Now, because the arrangement is on the left side, I do have to angle the ribbon so that it is not centered, and that way it's going to just sit nice and straight. I'm going to tie it in a knot instead of hot glue it because that way I can remove it if I just want to hang the wreath on a nail. But I think this one is absolutely stunning. It's one of my favorites from today. I love it. For the next Christmas craft, I am going to take another piece of cardboard. We're going to cut off a rectangle. I'm going to take that bowl again and I am going to round off one of the ends because we're going to create a little faux window. I can't wait to show you. Then using my ruler square, I'm just going to make some lines and then some sort of design. I'm going to use a smaller bowl once again, just kind of round off the inside of it. And once I had a design that I just kind of liked, I just kind of went with what I felt. If you're going to recreate something like this, just follow your instinct, maybe find an inspiration online and then just kind of recreate it the best you can. Take your time. I'm using a pencil because of course you can always erase. And then I'm just going to start cutting once I have the design that I want.
I'm on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Once I had the design cut, and let me tell you, it kind of went a lot more smoother than what I thought it would, but hey, that's okay. I'll take it. I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree spackle. It kind of dried up on me, but this is perfect to create my little spackle with paint mixture. I use this all the time. It just creates a very textured paint that I can reuse and reuse and reuse, until it's gone. But it just, as you can see here, it looks just like paint, but it's actually thicker and grittier, and it just creates a really cool texture. And this is exactly what I want for this window. That way it looks a little bit more realistic rather than cardboard. And I really love the way it turned out. So I'm just going to give it one pretty heavy coat, and then I'm going to just tap, tap, tap with the brush to give it even more texture. It dried pretty quickly. I had it under a fan, and it did not take but maybe 30 minutes to dry. There it is. You can't see the texture, but trust me, it's there and it's so beautiful. I'm going to take a makeup sponge and some antiquing wax. I'm just going to antique the edges. This is going to create a little bit of more of an antique farmhouse style look, but also give it some dimension. I'm going to go all around as well as the details in the center. Now, I did add more than what I want, and I do this on purpose so that then I can take more paint and kind of soften the dark edges a little bit with paint. It just makes it a little bit more natural looking.
On the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the
Once I had it where I want it, I let it dry for a quick second, and then I'm going to take this red berry garland. I recently got it at Target Dollar Spot. It was $5. At first, I thought it's a little expensive. Well, let me tell you, it's a really good quality, and I love how vibrant it is. It is perfect for this window. I actually made the window for the wreath. I'm going to take a zip tie from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to zip tie it on the top. Look how pretty that looks. I mean, you can leave it like this and it already looks so pretty. I'm going to take this ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's a burlap green ribbon. Beautiful. I'm going to create a very simple, just multiple loop bow tied on the bottom with a zip tie. Once I had it in the size that I want it, then I'm just going to just take another zip tie, wrap it around the bow, and then wrap it around that same top area where we tied the wreath. That way it's going to look nice and even. Once I had it fluffed to where I wanted it, I'm going to bring in some of these galvanized words. I got them at Dollar Tree. They come 3 in a pack with peace, joy, and belief. I'm going to take the belief and just hot glue it to the bottom of it. I'm going to go kind of quickly with the hot glue because galvanized tin really dries up hot glue really quickly. So I'm moving quickly and being very careful because it does get very hot. I can't tell you how in love I am with this little window. And the beautiful thing is I can use it season after season by just replacing the wreath. Love it. For the next Christmas cardboard hack, I'm going to take that circle that we cut off earlier in the first craft. We're going to trace it and cut off a smaller circle, about an inch smaller from that original circle. Then I'm going to take that circle and trace it again and cut off another circle that's about an inch smaller than that one, so that we have 3 circles made out of cardboard, one smaller than the other one. We're going to create a snowman. You probably guessed it. Then we're going to take some of these dusting mops from Dollar Tree and we're just going to cover them with hot glue. That's it. Place some hot glue, place it on top, cut off the excess. I will tell you, it gets messy. These things were flying everywhere. I wish I had a different material. If you have a different material, go for it. This is what I had on hand, and I did want the snowman to be textured, so I just used what I had on hand. But if you have another material, by all means, use it. Once I had all the circles nicely covered, there's still a hot mess. Like things are falling off of them. I'm just going to hot glue a painter stick right on the back. And then this is just going to join all 3 circles together. Hot glue is plenty sufficient. It really adheres really well to the cardboard and the stick. Once I had them joined together, we're going to take a piece of this, it's kind of like buffalo check or plaid, just a piece of fabric that I had. I'm just going to tie it a piece right around the neck. This is going to be the little scarf. And then I'm just going to hot glue it in place just so that it doesn't move and it kind of hangs the way I want it to. We're going to create a little nose for the snowman. We are going to take some pipe cleaners and wrap it up. I contemplated putting orange on, which is typical for a carrot. However, the orange I had was very neon and it just didn't look quite right. So I just used a brown. Now we're going to create a little hat. So I'm going to take a piece of cardboard. They're both going to be like rectangle squares, but one's going to be more of a rectangle and then the other square one's going to just create a nice hat. We're going to take this fabric from Dollar Tree, adhere it to each piece of cardboard, cut off the excess, and hot glue them together to create a beautiful hat. I hot glued the nose, and then hot gluing the hat right on top is going to give it a beautiful, beautiful finish to this snowman. We're missing some buttons. I thought about using real buttons, but I just felt like they were a little too flat, and these bells are just gorgeous, so I just grabbed them, hot glued them in place. And then I added a few little embellishments to the hat just to give it a little bit more texture and character, and another little bell, and that's it. This little snowman was a messy one, but it is so stinking cute, and it's actually a really good size. It will look great in any decor this Christmas.
These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you.
For the next Christmas cardboard hack, I am going to take pieces of cardboard and we're going to create a box. Now, if you have a box that is small enough already in this size, you don't have to go through all of this. But I didn't. I couldn't find. All the boxes I had were large. So I'm going to cut off a few pieces, and exactly it's going to be 6 of them. We're going to create a box. I'm not looking for perfection in the seams because we're going to cover it up anyways, but I'm just going to show you the process so that you kind of see how I did it. I cut up 2 pieces, larger ones that are going to be like the main size box one, and then 2 of the long sides and 2 for the shorter sides. I did not measure, but then I ended up measuring and giving you the size. So I'm just going to write them down here for you. If you want to pause, you can always write them down and recreate yourself at home or create any size box you want. So there you have it. We have 6 pieces. We're just going to join them together using hot glue. All right, once I had the box made, it's not perfect, but again, that's okay. I'm going to take this piece of just paper. It's like craft paper. I already had painted on it, but we're going to reuse it in just pieces of them, and we're going to Mod Podge it all around the box. This is going to cover the seams. This is going to give it more texture. It took me a while. It's also a little messy, but in the end, it's just so worth it. And again, if you have a box, use whatever box you have, whatever size, just cover it with the paper with Mod Podge. Once it was nice and dry, you can still see all the messy paint, but we're going to paint it using Waverly chalk paint in the white. We're going to give it just one pretty heavy coat, let it dry. And then once it was dry, I did want to add a little bit of a distress look. So I did add some dry brush sandstone Waverly chalk paint just to have those texture really pop. Once everything was dry, I'm going to take this buffalo check ribbon. It's beautiful from Dollar Tree. And we're going to wrap it up just like a gift. It's going to be a decorative gift box. We're going to start at the top. We're going to take it to the bottom. And then we're going to twist it, kind of like crisscross it at the bottom. Very tightly though. You won't want this to move around. So I'm just going to tighten it as much as I can. And then flip it over to the top again. I am going to thread the ribbon from underneath the other ribbon. That way it's going to be secure. And then I'm just going to tie it in a knot, a very tight knot. And then I'm just going to make a very simple bow. Just going to loop it and tie it into a bow and then just shrunk it until I have the size that I want. Once I have that, I am going to cut the excess ribbon and I am going to dovetail the ends so that it just looks nice and finished. And I am going to crinkle a little bit of the ribbon just to add a little bit of character and cute touch. Then it just time to add some greenery. This is from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take a few branches of hot glue into underneath the bow, both on each side. This is just going to even things out and just add a nice festive look. Then I thought it was still missing something, so I'm going to grab some of these little garland berries. It's from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around my finger just to create a curl, stretch it out a bit. Then I'm just going to hot glue one on each side. And then I just thought it was something more missing. So I'm going to take these little berry bundles, remove the excess wire, and just hot glue 3 of them on each side of the center of the bow. And then to add even more character and a little bit more of a color, I'm going to add some of these pine cones that have red glitter on top. They're from Dollar Tree. Just cut off 2 of them and place on each side. This little box is so stinking cute. I love creating gift boxes because you can create them in any size. You can create 3, 4 of them, 5 of them. Decorate them as you want. They look very festive and so inexpensive. Let me know what you think of this box. And I found these beautiful, fluffy, cozy socks that I knew I wanted to bring home. So I bought several pairs, and I am going to start with this foam board from Dollar Tree. It is just a piece of one. I'm going to freehand what looks like a boot, and I am going to use my blade knife to cut it out. Once I cut it out, I am going to kind of round off the edges just a little bit so they're not so pointy and square. This blade knife, by the way, I got it very recently, and I am loving it. It has this great handle, great way to hold it, and is so sharp. I do have it in my Amazon store if you want to check it out. Once I had the boot nice and done, I'm going to take one of the socks and I'm just going to just put it right over the foam board. This is going to give me that more Christmassy feel, cozy feel, and we're going to make a Christmas stocking. So once I have it in place, I'm just going to pull it in different places just to make sure it is where I want it. Then I'm going to cut off the excess from the top and I'm going to hot glue it so that it is seamless on top. Of course, I want to add something fluffy and cozy to the top of the stocking. So I am going to use a piece of this dusting mop from Dollar Tree that I already had on hand from another project. I'm going to hot glue it one end to the other.
Outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath.
I do want to add some embellishments just to make it a little bit more festive. So I'm going to add these greenery. One is from Amazon. The other one is from Dollar Tree. Just a small little pieces here and there. And then I thought I needed something, just some color. So I am going to add one of these bells from Dollar Tree. I love these this year. And I'm just going to hot glue it right in the center. And then I'm going to add one little pine cone, again, just to add some texture and color. And I gotta say, I love this stocking and it's so inexpensive. Anyone can make this Christmas season.
The first for you and me. The snow is falling down.
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I am going to take these two stockings. These are from a leftover project I did several weeks ago. I'm going to cut off some pieces. They're about maybe 2.5 inches thick, give or take. And then I'm going to open them up. Once I have all the strips cut out, I am going to then take this candy cane wreath form from the Dollar Tree. I actually had it from last year and I had it left over in my stash. And I'm just going to start wrapping it around with the pieces of stocking. The first one is very important. I want to make sure that it's wrapped up nice and neat so it doesn't look crazy. And then I'm just going to start wrapping it around and I'm going to make sure that all the seams are on the back of the wreath.
Christmas memory.
All right, so I am almost done wrapping it up. And of course, at the end, you just want to make sure that you hot glue it and keep it as neat as possible. So then I'm going to clear off just a little bit of the flapping ends on the back of it, just so that it looks a little bit more neat and professional, because I do want to sell this at a craft show that I'll be working here shortly. So I'm going to take these little bead garlands that I got. I think it was in the fall season, but I think they work well for Christmas as well. So I'm going to wrap it around. It is wired, so it's really easy to work with. I'm going to wrap it around from the top to the bottom, making sure that I secure it in the back by twisting it.
I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased.
And once again, I'm just going to add some embellishments, some greenery from Amazon, some from Dollar Tree, just to add more festive texture to it. And I'm going to add one of these little picks that has like a clip in the back. I'm just going to remove the pick and then I am just going to hot glue it right in the center. This is an easy way to really make that pick just seem a lot more grand and high-end. I love this. I love this wreath. It's so festive, so cozy, and it will look great either indoors or outdoors on a door.
Everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year.
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I am going to take a piece of stocking. Once again, this is going to be kind of like the top portion of the sock. It was already used. It's open on both ends. I am going to flip it inside out and tie one end very tightly with some baker's twine, but you can use whatever you have on hand. Then I'm going to cut off the excess fabric just so that it is smaller. Then I'm going to flip it right back in, and then we are going to add some stones. These white stones I already had a hand, but you can add anything. You can even add whatever you have that maybe add some weight to the sock, because we are creating a little snowman. Once I had the rocks in, I'm going to add some pillow stuffing to the bottom. We're going to make the bottom nice and fluffy. Once I had it, I kind of just pounded it and just packing it in. I'm going to take some more of that baker's twine, tie it in a knot. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the top. I'm just going to add some pillow stuffing, no rocks this time. And then I'm going to tie it once again with some more of that baker's twine. And then I decided to hot glue both balls. So the top and the bottom, just hot glue it together so it kind of stays a little bit more sturdy. And then it's time to add some buttons. So I'm going to add these 2 little buttons. I have a smaller one and a larger one. I'm going to place the smaller one on top and the larger one on the bottom. And then of course it needs a little scarf. So I am going to use some ribbon that I had on hand. This is a farmhouse truck ribbon. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Keep it really, really simple. And I am going to add some embellishments just to add some greenery and some festive details. This little pick is from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add a little pine cone, and that's it for this one. What a fun craft to do, even with grandkids or your children. I think it would be so much fun to do. It's festive, it's cute and cozy. I love it. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take this ornament that I actually removed a bell from it. It had a cute little white bell and I used it for a different DIY. I'm going to remove the whole decor from it, and then I'm going to take another piece of sock and I'm going to cut it round and around until I have a long strip. And it's not going to be even, it's not going to look pretty, but it's all going to come together. I'm going to hot glue one end to the ornament, and then I'm just going to wrap it around almost like a candy cane look. So I'm about done wrapping it up, and I'm just going to hot glue the last end there. And then I'm going to try to find the end that looks just not as neat, and that's going to be my top portion. I'm going to use some of that same baker's twine. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. It kind of disappears within the same decor anyways, and I'm going to tie it in a knot, and that's the way we can hang the ornament. And again, I'm going to add some embellishment. These are little picks from a pick from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to add a little bow. I just thought it just needed a little something to give it a little bit more festive look. This Merry Christmas ribbon is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to make a very simple bow, tie it in the center, fluff it as needed, and then I am going to hot glue it right in the center. Again, this is just going to add a little bit more detail and character. Then I'm going to add a couple extra little things like a little pine cone and a little berry from Dollar Tree. And then that's it. I think this one's going to turn out super cute, but is it me or does it look like one of those like lifeguard, you know what I'm talking about, that they can throw in the water? But it's festive and it's cute and I like it. Well, you're going to have to let me know what you think. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take this mug. I thought it's gorgeous. I thought it would make a very cute gift for either a teacher or just a relative. I'm going to roll up one of the pair of socks and I'm just going to place it right inside. And then I'm going to take one of these hot chocolate packs that you can find at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to place it right in the back. And then I'm going to take an ornament. I thought it would be really cute to include an ornament from Dollar Tree that they can use in their Christmas decor. And then I thought it needed a little bit more color and texture, so I'm going to add one of these Amazon evergreen picks and a little pine cone to finish off what it would be a very cute little gift, again, for either a family member, a friend, or even a teacher. How cute would this be? And the kids can help do it for them. I just think it's adorable. This next Dollar Tree hack is one I actually did recently in another video, but I thought I'd include it in this one because I did use the same socks. So first I'm going to take 2 of these little trees from Dollar Tree and I'm going to fluff them up, leaving one end just flat. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one because we are going to join them together using some zip ties. We are going to create a very cute gnome. So we are going to join them. I am going to remove the base from it, and then I am going to again just join both trees using some zip ties.
But the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that
And then once I had them nice and secure, I am going to fluff up what will be the beard of the gnome just to make sure that it looks like one tree, one arrangement. Now I'm going to take this little gnome that you can find at Dollar Tree. I am going to remove the beard portion, and it's very soft plastic, so you can even use your scissors, but I am using my wire cutters and it made it very easily. So once I had it removed, then I'm just going to have the top portion of the head as well as the nose, and it worked out really well. So once I had it in place, I am going to cover the hat with one of the socks. I'm just going to cut off the top portion, open it up, and slide it right into the hat. I am going to hot glue it to the bottom of the hat, and then I am going to tie the top with some jute string.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you.
I am now going to just attach it to the trees, which will now be the beard. I think it looks so cute. I'm going to grab another zip tie to secure the hat to the beard. And I'm just going to thread it through the sock all the way through the plastic portion. But I'm going to ensure that it doesn't go through on the other side because that way you don't see it. And then I had it to tighten it up, and that's it. Now I'm going to add one of these Christmas bulbs. This is just going to add some texture and color to the top of the hat. I'm going to remove the little portion from it as well as the excess part there and just hot glue it. It was sufficient. It is nice and light. These picks are from Dollar Tree. They have a great selection at Dollar Tree currently. I'm just going to grab a couple of the branches from it, and I'm going to hot glue it right underneath that bulb just to, again, add some texture and color to it. Now, I felt like something was missing for the hat of the gnome, so I am going to take a piece of that dusting mop again. I'm just going to cut it long ways, and I just thought it would add a lot of coziness and a lot of texture, and I'm just going to hot glue it right above the nose around the rim of the bottom of the hat. I am also going to add some lights. I get these little fairy lights on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store. So if you want to check them out, it is also linked down in the description box. I'm going to hot glue the little battery pack on the back of the hat, and then I'm just going to thread through the lights in and out of the beard. I am going to sell this on a craft show that I'm coming shortly, and I want to just add some lights. I think anything that's lit up and has lights really sells a lot quicker. I love this little gnome. I was a hit when the video that I posted it, but I wanted to include it because I think that hat with the sock just looks so adorable. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start with some poster board from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut 3 pieces. They're about 3 inches wide by give or take about 6 inches, but we're going to change the size in a little bit. Once I had them cut, I am going to cut at an angle, kind of like a triangle, the bottom of each. This is because we're going to make a little banner, a little Christmas banner. So I'm just going to do the same thing to the other 2. And once I had it done, then I'm going to take some fabric that I recently got at Hobby Lobby. They had it for 50% off, and I just love that flannel Christmassy look that it has. So I'm going to cut a piece just to cover them and be able to do so in a little bit. I'm going to take the golden tone iron-on vinyl from Dollar Tree. Then I'm going to take these letters, and I am going to, these are also from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to spell the word joy. Here's where I make a huge mistake. I actually put them on the wrong side of the vinyl, but I still don't know what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to show you so you can see what I did and how I fixed it. Then I traced them with a pen, and at this point, I'm still thinking I'm just going to remove the letters, and no, they stuck. Like, these things were not coming off. So then I decided, okay, let me just cut off the entire thing, just like I originally wanted to do anyways. And then I'll use these as my guide. So here we are, doing it all over again. Now I'm doing it on the right side. So if you're going to do this, make sure that you are writing on the shiny side of the vinyl. And then I'm just going to cut off the letters, again, to have the word joy. Once I had them in place, it's time to just iron them. I'm using my little mini heat press by Cricut, but you can use an iron. And I also have one mini heat press in my Amazon store. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. Now look how easy this is coming off. Like, seriously, guys, I am loving this heat transfer vinyl from Dollar Tree. And I don't say that lightly. I don't usually. So I love vinyls from Dollar Tree. I think they're very versatile and they're great for the price. But this heat, like the iron one, yeah, I'm loving it. Okay, so I cut off the fabric, and now I'm just going to Mod Podge the fabric right onto those poster board flags that we did earlier. And I'm just going to press them down. Now, this is when I realized that I just needed to just cut off some of the excess poster board and make these flags more appropriate size for the actual letter. And I did that on all 3. And then it's time to just attach them to some jute string. Really easy. Just going to add some hot glue to the back. And then I am going to add some ribbon to cover up that jute string and the glue just to make it pretty and nice. And I'm going to do that to all three.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping.
I am now going to take some of these faux evergreen picks from Amazon that I usually get, always a whole bunch because I just love crafting with them. And I'm going to cut off smaller pieces, hot glue them in between each flag, and then tie each end to a little tree. And I think it looks adorable. I would love to know what you think though. Let me know down below.
I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby,
for the next Dollar Tree hack, I am going to use the same golden tone vinyl, and I am going to trace this. It's like a felt tree that I get at a Dollar Tree. They come a whole bunch in a pack. I'm going to use a permanent Sharpie again and just trace it, and then I'm just going to cut it with my scissors. Nothing fancy, but this is just a way that you can customize your own decor. And I'm using a plate that you can find at Dollar Tree. You can find them in all colors actually, but this one has a very Christmassy look to it, so I'm going to place it right on top. Now at this point I am so nervous because I have no clue if this is going to stick, if I'm going to be able to iron it. Like, I have no clue, and it worked so good. I am telling you, this vinyl will transfer almost instantly after applying some heat. Maybe not automatically, but it is very fast. So I'm just going to keep doing it as best as I can, and then I'm going to remove the plastic very carefully because it's not fully attached yet. And then I'm going to use some parchment paper because it's a little bit more flexible than the plastic that it has. And then I'm able to get more into the little grooves and the edges of the plate. This worked so good, guys. I'm telling you. So I'm going to take one of these like picture frame holders, and I'm just going to place the plate right there. And I can tell that it's going to look so good, but it's missing something. So I'm going to add some greenery to the wire, to the front of the piece. And again, this is greenery from Amazon. I did decide to hot glue as well as tie it with a jute string. That way it's going to be nice and secure. Once I had it in place, I'm going to take this poinsettia. It comes in a little pot, but I'm going to remove the actual flower, cut off the little excess pick from the back, and then I'm going to hot glue it right in the front. This is going to complement that red color from the plate. And I am telling you, this one is stunning. It would make for such a great gift for someone, or just to add to your own decor in your home. Let me know what you think. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take some drop cloth. Now, you know that I love using drop cloth. It's just so inexpensive. I just love using it. And I'm going to cut off a piece because I'm going to make some napkins. I love making custom napkins for any season. And I'm going to cut off pieces that are 12 inches by 17 inches long. And I am loving the fact that you can just tear that drop cloth and have that frayed look in one end. This is the red glittery vinyl. As you can tell, it's kind of very, I don't know, curled up, but I found out that if you scrape it with a scraper very softly and gently, it'll straighten out, and as you can tell, it worked perfectly fine. I'm going to cut off a piece that's going to be 2 inches wide and then cut them into 3-inch pieces. And once I had 4 of them, I am going to cut them into triangles. We're going to make a very Christmassy napkin, and I'm going to do that with the red vinyl. I'm going to do it with the golden tone, and I'm also going to be doing with a silver one. Alright, so now that I have my triangles done, I did put the drop cloth through my heat press, the larger one, just so that it's ironed out. You don't have to use a heat press, you can just use a regular iron. Now I'm going to start placing the little trees. I'm going to place the 2 golden and silver ones first. Look how beautifully that removes. Oh, I'm obsessed. All right, and then the red one's going to go right on top. I'm going to use some parchment paper because I already removed the plastic on the other 2. I just want to protect that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to all 4 napkins. All right, so I'm almost done with the fourth napkin. Now, you remember those pieces that I cut off earlier from the edge? This is the seam of the drop cloth. I'm going to cut them in half, and I'm going to have, they are about maybe 8 inches long each, and I'm going to use that as my little tie, as my little napkin grin, because the design is so glittery and so flashy. I want to keep that center kind of simple. So I'm going to use one of these little picks from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to thread it right through, and then I'm going to hot glue a little tiny Christmas bulb. Again, I'm hot gluing it on the actual tie, not on the napkin. That way, when the napkin is removed, it's going to be nice and no hot glue on it. We're just about done with this one. I gotta say, this one is one of my favorites because I love making napkins and napkin rings. I just think they look so pretty. But this one is a wow. I love that vinyl. Looks so good together. For the next Christmas hack, I'm going to take one of these Merry Christmas farmhouse style red trucks that I actually love the way it is, but we are going to zhuzh it up a little bit and make it a little bit more high-end and custom. I'm going to take everything off of it, and then I'm going to take some more of that not buffalo check, it's like a flannel type fabric, and I'm going to hot glue it almost like as the bed of the truck is kind of covered with it. Once I had it hot glued, I'm just going to cut off the excess. Then we're going to bring in the red glittery heat vinyl transfer from Dollar Tree. Whew, that is a long title. All right, so now I'm going to take my little mini heat press and I'm just going to start pressing it right on it. Again, I'm just going to try, I've never done this before, so I want to make sure that I try different things out for you guys so you can see what works and what doesn't. I'm just going to, once I remove the plastic off of it, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and just cut off the excess. Then I started trying the scissors and see what would work best. And then I am going to sand down the edges just for a smooth finish. I'm going to do the same thing to the top of the tires. All right, so everything is covered with the vinyl. Now I'm going to add some greenery to the back of it just to kind of mimic like it has some sort of greenery on the bed. And then I decided to add these little tiny blocks, just 2 on each side behind the wheels so that the truck can actually stand and make it look more like a decor versus a sign. And I love the way this one turned out. It has a little bit of a farmhouse glam to it because it has a glittery. I love the Merry Christmas already and that shiny look. Love it.
In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good
All right, so for this next Dollar Tree hack, I gotta say it didn't turn out as good, but I want to show you because I just want you to know what I learned from it. I'm using those same letters that I used earlier to spell out the word joy, and I'm going to trace them and cut them on the red glittery vinyl. And once again, we are just going to just place them, but this time we're going to place them on little vases that I got at Target Dollar Spot. They come 3 in a pack for $3, and it's rounded and they're tiny, and it was a hot mess. So once I started like pressing them, I can see that the plastic was coming off, so I just then remove it very carefully and then use the parchment paper because it's more flexible to be able to iron them. You're going to see they're not perfect. They're not perfect at all. And I'm never looking for perfection, but again, I just wanted to show you, if you are using it, just kind of stay away from any rounded. Anyways, I'm going to place some greenery right on top and then some of these berries on each vase. And I would love to know what you think of the vases. Now, they don't look horrible, but they're just kind of tilted and wrinkled, and it was just kind of a hot mess. But they still look cute, and I just wanted you to show you what I learned so that you don't make brass wreath rings that I absolutely love. They come 3 in a pack, guys. Seriously, this is such a good deal. They're all different sizes, and I did get 2 packs because today we're going to create 4 different things with them. I'm going to start with a medium-sized ones, and I'm just going to make a cut using my wire cutters. It did not take much effort. Now I'm going to bring in all the bulbs that I have from Dollar Tree. They're all red. I'm also going to add some golden ones, some smaller ones, and I'm just going to start threading them through in no specific order, just making sure that I'm alternating the size and the style, and I'm going to do it all the way until I have no more bulbs.
But the
I decided to add a little bit of hot glue at the end of each bulb. That way it's not going to go anywhere. Now you can fill the entire thing with bulbs. I think that would be beautiful. But in this case, I wanted to keep them just on the bottom. Now I'm going to bring in some, this is duct tape from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to secure that part where I opened up. I did grab some greenery from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to keep adding some different tones. Also this glittery red one, I just think it will add nice touch, and then some nautical rope to tie everything together. I'm going to start creating a little swag for the wreath form. I'm just going to start stacking them up, one to each side. That way we're going to have a swag-like arrangement. I'm going to keep just holding it with my hand temporarily until I know what I have, and I kind of see if I need to add anything else. Once I had it where I wanted, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue very carefully, not to burn myself. And then with the nautical rope, I'm just going to wrap it around until it's secure. I then fluffed it off just as much as I wanted, making sure the arrangement is where I wanted. Of course, we got to get some cleaning done. This thing was glittery and everywhere. All right, so then I'm going to take some foam from Dollar Tree. This is just a scrap piece. And I'm going to add some hot glue and then add that top portion of the ring right on it. Add more hot glue and then place the swag. This is going to attach it really nicely. I am also going to take this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's a beautiful plaid looking ribbon, and it is wired and it comes a ton in it. Before we attach the ribbon, I am going to add some jute string. I did loop one end, thread it through the loop, and I'm just going to secure it very tightly. This is going to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to wrap it around with the ribbon, making sure that I am covering the foam as well as the nautical rope. And then I'm just going to tie it in a knot on top. I'm now going to take one of these poinsettias from Dollar Tree. They come in a little pot. I'm going to remove the pot and I'm going to cut off the little stem that is remaining. Then I'm going to add a ton of hot glue and place it right in the center. This really finished it off. This is a stunning wreath form. I did not spend much to do it, and it is gorgeous. I love the way this one turned out. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I am going to take one of these towels. You can find these in the automotive area at Dollar Tree. I already had used it for a previous project, but I'm going to have what I have left, just cut them in about 1-inch strips. Now I'm going to take a smaller one and a medium-sized one, and I am going to hot glue them together using some foam, and we are going to create a little snowman. So I'm just going to place another piece of foam right on top. At first I thought I'd leave him like sticking out, and then it dawned on me maybe I could just flip him to the side, and that way it won't be sticking out as much. I'm going to take a piece of jute string and just going to tie it to secure it in place. And then I'm going to start wrapping it all around with the pieces of towel using hot glue, making sure that the entire middle section as well as the entire wreath form is covered. Once that had the entire thing covered, it's time to add some greenery. I'm going to add some of these picks that I do get on Amazon. I also have a tree that I had to break down. I'll show you here in a little bit. And I had some of these. So I'm just going to hot glue and stick them right onto that foam that I placed in the center. This is going to really secure it in place again because it has that hot glue. I'm going to place 2 on each side, and then I'm going to place some red berries from Dollar Tree and just to add some color, and I did add some more greenery from Dollar Tree to fill it up as much as I want to. I contemplating using a red poinsettia, but I think this white one is beautiful and it really complements the white from the snowman. All right, I'm going to take some of this, it's like a flannel style fabric from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to make a little hat for him. Now I am going to let that frayed edge just be towards the front, and I'm making sure that the hat is a little tilted. I'm going to secure it in place with some hot glue, flip it over, and then secure the back again with some hot glue. This is going to create what it would look like a little hat for this snowman. Then I'm just going to scrunch it up on top and tie it with some baker's twine. This is just what I had on hand, but you can use whatever ribbon or jute string even would work. Then I'm going to tilt it to the side just a little bit so it has a little bit of character. I did decide to add some pine cones to the arrangement. I felt like something was missing that really finished it off, and I love love the way this one turned out. It's actually a really good size wreath. You can use it inside, you can use it on a door. I think it's beautiful. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take a larger ring and a piece of drop cloth. This is a 6 by 17 inches. I did make sure that the frayed parts were on top and the bottom for that more character look. This is the piece before I ironed it and I added the design. I use sublimation because I've been in love with sublimation and it's easy. I just kind of flattened and ironed out the piece. I added the design, which I just cut the excess paper. You have to make sure you print it in a flipped mode. That way, when you place it on the design, it's going to look straight. So then we're just going to iron it using my heat press for 40 seconds. And then we have a beautiful design. I am going to make sure that I kind of tilt it just a little bit to the left. And then I'm going to secure it in the back with hot glue. I'm going to do one side first. Once I have that attached, then I'm going to do the other one, making sure that I kind of pull and tighten that fabric so it doesn't slide down on me. We are going to secure it with hot glue, but just make sure it is nice and tight. All right, so I'm just going to hot glue just a little bit the 4 edges to secure those edges to the ring. This is the little tree I was mentioning. I lost a little base for it, and I just thought I'm just going to break it apart and use the picks. Why not? So I'm going to create another little swag, again, using some of these picks as well as some of these Dollar Tree ones. I'm also going to use some of those red berries that I really like, that bright tone. And again, place them right in the center. I'm going to secure everything once again with hot glue. This time I'm going to use a piece of drop cloth because I just thought it would be appropriate and it just kind of brings everything together. I'm going to fluff it up just a little bit and then hot glue it to the ring form. I am going to also make a little slit, just a little cut on the fabric using my blade knife. And then I'm going to thread another piece of drop cloth through that little hole. This is just going to give me extra security. And I'm just going to tie it in the back with a knot and some hot glue. That way it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so now I am going to take this ribbon, which I think it's very complementary to the entire wreath form. And I'm just going to place it towards the arrangement. Because the arrangement's on the left side, you want to make sure that it's not going to tilt on you. So you want to place the ribbon kind of off center, hot glue it in place, and that way it's not going to go anywhere. I did tie the top in a little knot just to kind of secure it, I guess. But I think this one is so much fun. I love the way it turned out. You can use any design. And don't forget, I have this one in my Etsy shop for you to look at. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I'm going to take a large one and a small one, and I'm going to join them together. This time, the small one's going to be inside of the large ring. I'm going to secure it with hot glue and some jute string. Again, this is just to tie them together, but we're going to add a lot more to it, but this is just to get us that starting point. I'm going to take this lighted battery-operated star that you can find at Dollar Tree currently. Holy smokes, for $1.25, this is actually a really good deal. It does require 3 AAA batteries. I got these at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to place them and make sure that it lights up. Of course, you want to make sure you do that first. It has a little on and off button right on the side. Then once I had everything in place, I'm going to place it right in the center of that smaller ring form. It fits perfect. I'm going to hot glue it to the top and all the little edges. That way it's secure. But I'm also going to do it with some jute string. I'm just going to crisscross it and tie it very, very securely. That way that star is not going anywhere. All right, I did add some floral foam to each side of the star. This is going to give me a little bit of a platform to be able to hot glue the greenery and florals. Now, this is not the only thing I'm using to secure it. I am going to tie everything in place, but hot glue is just going to give me that instant, just kind of until it sets. I'm going to use some of this golden pick from Dollar Tree. I'm going to tear it apart, and then I'm just going to start arranging them until it looks nice and pretty. I'm going to turn on and off the star just to make sure that I'm not like adding too much heat with the glue and I'm ruining the, electrical part. All right, so once I had everything in place, I'm going to take this red and golden ribbon from Dollar Tree, which is beautiful. I'm going to wrap it all around, including through the inside of that top portion of the star. This is going to bring everything together, tighten it up, and it's not going to go anywhere, my friends. I did add more ribbon because I forgot to leave like little like ribbon hanging on the sides. I just thought it would look pretty. So I'm going to add one more, tie it in a knot, and then just kind of hot glue them in place so that they are hanging nice and pretty to each side. It's just going to add some nice color. Then I realized I completely forgot to add more ribbon to hang it. Now you can hang it with the little cord and the suction cup that the battery pack has, but I didn't know if it was going to hold strong enough, so I did add some more ribbon. I added a large and a smaller pine cone right to the center, and then this is when I realized, oh, I should have added that ribbon. So I'm going to add it right through in between the pine cones. I'm like panicking, making sure that they're not going to, like the glue is not going to harden on me, but it was fine. I'm going to just thread it to the top, tie it in a knot, and that's what we're going to hang it from. I think this one is stunning. I left it to the last, but I should have put it first. It's one of my favorites from today. I love it. It's so glam. I love that it lights up. If you want to give it as a gift, if you want to sell it, this is a great one to do so. This Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I am going to take this gnome sign. It's already very pretty as it is, but you know me, I like to customize the decor. So we're going to remove everything from it and we're going to sand it down. You can use a sanding block, but I'm going to use my electric sander because it's quicker and way more effective. This is to remove all the glitter as well as scuff off the surface so that the paint adheres very well. I'm going to clean it up really well, and then I'm going to give it 1.5 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white, but only in the edges because we're not going to need the middle portion covered. Once it was completely dry, I am going to take this beautiful Santa belt wrapping paper. I loved it. I might even go back because I might use this one for my own Christmas gifts this year. I'm going to tear the edges. I love using this technique. I've used it many times before. Sometimes I just love that tear look. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to cut it, leaving maybe about 1/2 inch on each side, give or take. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to spray it with this Gorilla adhesive spray, and we're going to place it right in the center. This works so awesome. I usually use Elmer's, which is why I said Elmer's, but using this one, I realize this is so much better. And I do have in my Amazon store, which is always linked down below. Using my Cricut, I did cut out the phrase ho 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 because it's very appropriate for the sign and the wrapping paper we're using. I'm going to use some transfer tape, and this is where things kind of went downhill for me. I forgot that I am dealing with very thin wrapping paper. Yep, you guessed it. It literally tore me. I thought I can fix it. I thought, hey, I can make this work. No. So I ended up just tearing it out. I was so frustrated. So needless to say, I removed the whole thing off, except for this one little part, which really adhered like crazy good. Then I did the whole thing all over again. I'm not going to show you, but here I am placing it right on top. This time, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the letters just like stickers, and I'm going to place them. Now, I decided to kind of place the ho 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 towards the left side of the board because I figured I'd kind of add a little bit of greenery and embellishments to the right side, and that's exactly what I did. Once I had the words right on it, I started placing some faux greenery picks from Amazon that I usually get during this time of the year because they're just such a good deal and great quality. I'm just going to hot glue them in place, and then I'm just going to add a couple extra little things like a bell and a little pine cone. And of course, we need something to hang it with. So this beautiful red and gold ribbon is, I believe, from Dollar Tree. I think I got it at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to hot glue it and tape it to the back, and that's it. Such a beautiful custom sign. I love that it says ho ho ho, and I love this wrapping paper. It's my favorite. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I am going to take this ornament sign from Dollar Tree. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sand down the glitter and just scuff off all the surface except the top. I want to keep the glitter red portion on the top of the sign because it's going to go really well with the wrapping paper we're using. I'm going to use this one is red and white. It has a really cute like stripe and like little polka dots on it. I'm just going to cut off a piece that's just going to fit the ornament. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to adhesive spray the back with this one, place it right on top. And then this time we are going to sand down the edges to give it a smooth transition onto the piece Again, another little trick that I use all the time. It works really well with this wrapping paper. So just sand down the edges on a downward motion until the paper literally falls off, and it works so good. And it's time to add some greenery. This greenery is part of the Christmas portion greenery from Dollar Tree. I love the light tone green, so I'm going to place 3 little picks right on there just with some hot glue. And then we're going to place some darker ones just to add a little bit of contrast. And then I thought, why not use one of these beautiful poinsettias from Dollar Tree? Just going to take one, remove the back pick, add a lot of glue, and just place it right there on top. Beautiful. I love it. So now it's just time to add some ribbon. Again, we're going to use a similar one from earlier. This one says Merry Christmas. We're just going to use a little portion of it, tie it in the knot, and that's it. That way we can just hang it from the wall. But this one turned out absolutely stunning. I love the way that poinsettia looks. I love the wrapping paper. I think it just has a beautiful design. Just stunning. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take one of these summer red boards from Dollar Tree Summer Selection. I had it left over, but I thought the red would work really great for Christmas. So I'm going to remove the top portion that has the little sail. Usually I just use my blade knife. I score it a few times. I snap it, clean it off, and then I just sand it down for a smooth finish. This is an 18-inch piece, and then I'm going to cut it directly in half to have 2 pieces that are 9 inches long. And I'm going to do the same thing, score it, snap it, and sand it. I'm going to make a couple of marks on each corner so that we can turn these into tags. I recently did some tag decor for fall, and it turned out beautiful, and I thought I'm going to do the same thing for Christmas. So I'm going to do the same thing on the edges and corners. Just score it, snap it, and sand it. I should make a t-shirt with that. All right, I'm going to cut another piece. This one's a beautiful Christmas letter wrapping paper, and we're going to do the same thing, just adhere it to the surface using the spray, and then we're going to use the sanding block once again to remove the edges. You can really see how smooth those edges are. I just love that technique. We're going to bring the other one. We're not going to do anything with it because the red looks beautiful with it. We're going to hot glue it to each other at a little angle. And again, we're going to bring in that golden and red ribbon and just hot glue it and tape it to the back for a very secure hold. Not that this is heavy, but it just helps. Then we're going to flip it back to the front. We're just going to add some embellishment. We're going to add, again, some of these greenery picks from Amazon, which, by the way, again, I do have on my Amazon store. And then we're just going to add a couple extra things just to finish it off, like this snowflake ornament. I just thought it would be so pretty to pull that bright white from the wrapping paper. And then we're going to add some berries to add some color.
So much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people.
And we're just about done with this one. I think this one is stunning. I just like them all. Okay, can I just say that? I just love them all. But anyways, I love the way this one turned out. I think it's so pretty, so fresh, so Christmassy.
Letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby,
For this next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take this craft paper from Hobby Lobby, I believe it was. I got it in a book, and I just love the bright white, kind of like rustic rick that it has. I'm going to cut off a piece because we're going to make a beautiful greeting card for Christmas. I love making greeting cards. Every so often, I will make one here on my channel because I just love making them. I found these letters at Hobby Lobby recently, a ton in a bag, as you can see. I'm going to try to spell the word or the words Merry Christmas. I want the Christmas to be in the glittery red and then the Merry in the matte green. And we're going to place them vertically on the card. All right, we're going to take this beautiful snowflake green wrapping paper and we're going to cut off a little piece. We're just going to keep cutting until I have a piece that fits the space that I'm trying to add a little Christmas tree to. It's right there on the left bottom corner. So as you can see, I'm just going to keep cutting. Then I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to make some lines. We're just going to make a very simple Christmas tree, cut it and glue it to that portion.
it was the night
Once I had it how I wanted it, I am going to open it up and again use my adhesive spray, spray the back, and place it right on there. How stinking cute is this? And how easy. This will be a great project for you to do with your kids or grandkids or just with friends or by yourself. I love the way it turned out. I'm going to use this one to gift it to someone this Christmas season.
When the bell on the door jingled once more, and then
for the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take another one of those summer boards. This is just a reminder that even though you may not use something for one season, think about other seasons that you can use it on. Just saying. All right, we're going to use that Santa belt wrapping paper once again. We're going to cut off one of the belts. As you can see, we're going to adhesive spray the back and place it right there. We're going to make a little Santa Claus sign. You're going to be loving this one. I sanded down the edges once again with my sanding block to remove the excess paper. Then we're going to take this little duster wand that you can find at Dollar Tree. They come 2 dusters inside the box. I'm going to kind of like butterfly open it, and we're going to use it as Santa's beard. I've never used this one before, but I thought, let's just try it. I am going to angle cut the beard on the bottom just to kind of shape it a little bit more like a beard. And then we're just going to hot glue it to the top portion. We're not going to remove the sail portion because we are going to give Santa a hat. So we're going to leave it right there it is. I am going to take this fabric that I've had for a while. I don't even know where I got it, but it is red and white, and I just thought it would be a perfect contrast to the red in the suit. So we're just going to take a piece, we're going to hot glue it, and we're going to hot glue it in the back as well, and that way we're going to have a hat for Santa.
But the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present.
I'm going to scrunch up the top and just tie it with some baker's twine just to have a little hat looking end. I'm going to trim off the excess fabric so that I don't have as much sticking out. We're going to give Santa a little nose just using one of these natural wood tone beads that I get on Amazon, and just going to place it right there underneath the hat. Nothing fancy. Now we're going to bring in the dusting mop. So earlier we used a dusting wand from Dollar Tree. Now it's a dusting mop. We're going to cut off a piece from it. We're going to hot glue it to the bottom and on top of the belt, trimming off the edges for a clean finish. This is going to be kind of like the fuzzy part of Santa's suit. We're almost done. We're going to use the leftover little fuzzy part for the top portion of the hat because it needs something there. I'm also going to angle hot glue the hat just for a little bit more character. Then I decided it was missing something, so I am going to take some greenery and I'm just going to add it to the hat just to add a little bit of embellishment, give it some color, some texture, and I think it kind of brought everything together. Everything was kind of like red and white, so I think adding the greenery really helped. I'm also going to add some of this glittery red picks from Dollar Tree, and that's about it. I love the way this one turned out. I gotta say, it's one of my favorite. I love the size of it. I look how stinking cute it is, and I love that we use a wrapping paper for that belt. Tell me that's not the cutest thing. I love it. I found these faux wood slice ones that I thought could just get a little bit more of a better look. Now, I like the look that they have, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna remove everything from them, including the top, which, by the way, it was pretty hard. These ornaments are usually like easy to pull apart, but this time it was really tasking. I ended up grabbing my pliers, my wire cutters, and just pulled out the decor. Anyways, long story short, just know that it's going to take a while to get out that top portion. All right, so the bark around the wood slices is actually foam, so be careful also not to get that out. We're going to leave the back as the original look. A viewer on my last ornament video mentioned, why not leave the back of the ornament as the original design, and that way you'll have a double-sided ornament. I thought it was brilliant. So we're going to leave the back side as is. Then the other side I painted with one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the farmhouse red. Then I'm going to take this Dollar Tree snowflake ornament. I'm just going to hot glue it right on top. I think it already looks so pretty. Dollar Tree has some beautiful ribbon currently for Christmas. I'm going to take this farmhouse truck ribbon and I'm going to just make a very simple bow by looping it, scrunching it, tie it in the center, cutting off the excess ribbon, and then I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of the ornament. And it is that simple. Then I'm going to take more of the ribbon and we're going to use it on the back so that we can create a little hanging string. I did add a little berry right on top. This is just to add a little bit of a touch and detail, as well as this tiny little bell from Dollar Tree. Just some cute little details that make it more festive. And that's it for this first one. I think it's stunning. I love that we left the back with the original design. I think it's so brilliant, so smart. And I just love the new look in the front. It's very custom, very festive, beautiful traditional colors. I love it. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take another one and again, remove everything from it. And I am going to remove all of the bark from this one. I am going to save the bark though, because some of the other ornaments have little pieces missing, and I'm going to use those to hot glue it and finish them off. All right, once I had the bark off, I sanded it off just lightly to smooth it out. And then I am going to paint the center of the ornament white using Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Once it was dry, I am going to tape the bottom and the top, and we are going to paint them green using Waverly chalk paint in the moss. Ornament is going to have another theme. The previous theme was Snowy Christmas. This one's going to be Ugly Sweater Christmas. And as I go on through the video, I'll have a theme for each and every one of the ornaments. All right, once the green paint was painted, I taped it again, leaving a little bit of the white in between. And I'm going to paint the center once again using that farmhouse red from Rust-Oleum chalk paint. These reusable mesh stencils are from a maker studio. I use them all the time. I love them. So easy to work with. I'm going to cut up a few of the designs from other stencils, and I'm just going to start placing them in the center red portion. They work just like a sticker. You remove the back and then you place it where you want it. I'm going to take some of their white gel art ink and their squeegee, and I'm just going to start applying it and then removing the stencil to reveal the sign. Now I'm going to do the same thing with two other designs, and that way we're going to have kind of what it would look like an ugly sweater. I do want to let you know that I have a link where you can find these as well as other mesh stencils down in the description box, so check it out. All right, so now we're going to take this very fluffy yarn that I got at Hobby Lobby maybe about a year ago, I think it was. I'm going to use it to cover all the sides of the ornament. We're going to loop it around twice.
And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is
I'm going to take some of these greeneries. I do get these on Amazon, and they are in my Amazon store. And I'm just going to cut off a few of the leaves, hot glue them right to the top. This is just going to add more texture and character. And then it's time to just add a couple other things. So we're just going to add 3 of these little berries from Dollar Tree. They already come in bundles of 3. I'm just going to twist them tightly, cut off the excess wire, and then just hot glue it right onto the center. And then we're going to add a hanging string. We're just going to use the same yarn. I thought it would be very applicable. So I'm just going to hot glue it to the back. And that's it. This one is one of my favorites. I love the ugly sweater look. I think it looks cozy and cute. And of course, very festive. I just love it.
it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down.
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take another one. Again, remove everything from it. And here's where I'm going to use some of that leftover bark from the other one, because this one was missing quite a bit. So I'm just going to patch it up, and it worked actually really well. You can't even tell because it's so rustic and textured already. I'm going to now just give it one coat of the Waverly chalk paint in the white. And now I am going to just make it look like it's planked, just using my ruler and a pencil, and make some stripes going from top to bottom. Again, this is going to give it a planked farmhouse look. Using my Cricut, I cut off a red paw. I loved this color. This is just a red vinyl that I had from Cricut. You can certainly hand paint this if you'd like. You don't have to use a Cricut machine or a cutting machine. You can paint it or use any regular vinyl and just draw and cut. I'm going to apply it using the contact paper, and I think it looks so cute. All right, so now we're just going to cover up that top portion using some greenery.
so much lately.
And I decided to add some more greenery. This one has the little red berries. I'm going to cut off some of the leaves on the bottom just so that it lays a little more flat. We're just going to hot glue it on each side.
Yeah, spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite.
I am going to add one more of these larger frosted berries from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top right there in between, as well as a little pine cone to add a little bit more texture and decor. This buffalo check ribbon I did get at Dollar Tree. We're just going to loop it once again and hot glue it to the back. And that's it for this one. Another one of my favorites. I love the theme for this one, of course, is our furry friends that are part of the family. Perfect for Christmas.
These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take another one of those ornaments, remove everything, and again give it one full coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. The theme for this one is a Christmas glam. Now, I know the ornament itself is a little rustic, so we're just going to glam it up a little bit. Once the paint was dry, I'm going to add some more tape. We're just going to make some stripes, and we're going to paint them using a metallic golden paint. And now, again, it's time to just add some greenery. We're going to add a couple of these little picks right to the front, just using hot glue. And then we're going to add one of these little gorgeous bells from Dollar Tree. It's like a little garland of bells. We're going to cut off one of the red and golden ones. And then we're just going to hot glue the top portion because it did come off, but no big deal. Hot glue did the work. Again, put it together, and we're just going to hot glue it to the center. I'm also going to add a small little pine cone, again, just to kind of tie in the rustic side of the ornament right onto it. Then we're going to add some ribbon. This one is a beautiful red and golden Merry Christmas ribbon. I think it looks perfect with the theme of this ornament. Again, we're just going to hot glue it to the back, and we are going to add an extra couple little picks to cover up the bare portion on the top. I like this one. I think I'm surprised that I like it as much as I do. I'm normally not a glam kind of person, but I love the golden tone. I love that it has very traditional colors. I think it's beautiful. For the next Dollar Tree hack, we're going to take another ornament, remove everything from it, and take some wrapping paper that I had left over from a wrapping paper video that I did recently. I'm going to cut off a piece, and I'm going to hand draw a little hat. We're going to make a little Christmas Santa gnome ornament here. So we're going to create a little hat using the wrapping paper. We're just going to cut it off, and then we're going to add some Mod Podge and center it right towards the top of the ornament. Of course, this is going to be the little hat of the Santa gnome. And then we're going to bring in these dusting wands. They come 2 in a pack, and I just thought it would be perfect to create a beard with it. So I'm just going to keep cutting pieces as I need it and angling cuts just to make sure that we have kind of like what it would look like a beard in the perfect size for the ornament. We're just going to hot glue it right there. Isn't it already looking so stinking cute? I'm going to use one of these natural wood tone beads as its nose, hot glue it in place, and use a white pom-pom as the hat little fuzzy ball. We're going to use this snowflake ribbon from Dollar Tree. Again, we're just going to hot glue it to the top. And then to hide that bare portion on the bark, we're just going to add some picks. Just easy, simple, keeping it this one a little bit on the simple side, but I think it's still stunning. I love the cute little Santa gnome. I think it's just so beautiful, so festive, and actually one of my favorites. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I am going to take again another one of those ornaments, remove everything from it, and give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to take some sublimation paper where I printed the December 25th design, and I am going to just sublimate it. Now, I've never done this before. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to see. I'm going to cut off the excess paper from the edges. This is just going to give them a little bit more manageable size. Then I'm going to use my little mini heat press and just start pressing it. Again, I had no clue if it was going to work, and it actually kind of sort of did. It's a little faded. I think it would have worked better if I had like a whole press machine on it, but I didn't want to do that because of the material of the ornament. but I think it's going to work. We're going to make it work. I'm going to add some of these red berries picked from Dollar Tree right to the top. And again, some extra ones to cover up the bare portion of the edge. And then it's time to add a couple extra little things, a little pine cone just to fill in those bare spots right in the center, and a little frosted berry right on next to it. And then this beautiful Christmas ribbon from Dollar Tree to hang it from. I like it. I wish it would have been a little bit more crisp, a little bit more brighter, but it works and I love it.
For the Christmases of old, where the snow would fall and the air was
This next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take this book of craft paper. It's from Hobby Lobby, and I love this music sheet look that it has one of them. I'm going to place the ornament right underneath and just kind of press it so that I know where to make a cut. Once I had it cut to size, and it's just time to start attaching it. I'm going to use this Gorilla Spray adhesive. I'm just going to spray the back of the paper and place it right in the center. I think it's beautiful already. The possibilities are endless with this design. I'm going to use one of these larger picks, and I'm just going to cut off a piece of it and then hot glue it right, a little bit tilted towards the left side, not the left side, the right side of the ornament. Now I'm going to add one of those little bulbs from Dollar Tree and some glittery picks just to add a little bit more color. I did add a little pine cone as well just to add a little bit of texture and bring in, again, the rustic look of the actual ornament. And then again, we got to find something to hang it with, so I thought it would look really cute to use that same red and golden ribbon from earlier. And I think this one is I just like them all. I don't know how to choose, but I really love this one. I think it's so pretty. Stems you can find at Dollar Tree pretty much any time of the year, and they come in different sizes. Some are flat and more thicker, and some are longer, thinner, but the variety is so good for crafting. I'm going to start with some of these longer, thinner ones that come in each packet, and I am going to attempt to make 5 rows of 6 stems, and we are going to try to turn them into a star. Now, my initial plan was to take my drill and drill some holes like I'm showing you here on each stem on both sides, not all the way through, just about maybe 1/4 of an inch. This is so that we can then join them together like a longer stick. Again, this was my original plan, but I did change my mind, and I'm going to tell you, I just ended up gluing them together. And it actually worked so good. But I still want to show you this in case you want to do it yourself. I just grabbed one of those popsicle sticks that you can buy at the craft store, and I'm just going to cut them in like little 1/2 inch size ones, and then add hot glue into each hole and join them together just like that. Now, this is a lot stronger hold. It's not going to go anywhere, but in all reality, like I said, I ended up just hot gluing the rest of them to each other, and it worked really, really well. But this is how this first one turned out, and I just did the other ones, just hot gluing them together. Now I have 5 sticks. Now, if you have sticks from outside, by all means, go grab them and you can recreate this. But using the stem, it really gave it so much more character. Once I had these star nicely put together, I'm going to hot glue where each stick meets. So anywhere where they touch each other, I'm just adding some hot glue. And then I am going to take some jute string and tie the 5 points of the star so that it has a lot more secure hold. And what I did was I created a little loop on the jute string, tighten each corner, and then just hot glue the loose end. And it was pretty sufficient. It really is a strong hold.
But the fire keeps us the present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
And look how well these stuck together. I mean, it's really good. Anyways, I'm now going to move on to adding some snow-like paint. Now, this is a little mixture of spackle from Dollar Tree and chalk paint that I usually pre-mix and have it on hand pretty much all the time. I recently mixed this together, and I'm just going to just start dabbing it, kind of like if snow just fell on the star and it just kind of landed on the branches. And I'm going to do that all around the star.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down.
And once it was dry, it's just magical. I love the texture that it gave it. It just looks like real frosted snow. Now I'm going to take this greenery from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off some of the branches and hot glue them to the left side of the star, kind of like in between those two sticks there. And I'm just going to keep adding until it just kind of looks full enough, but it doesn't kind of take over. And then once I had it hot glued, it's time to add just some other different type of greenery, also from Dollar Tree, again, just to add a little bit of fullness and texture. Then these little berry bundles are from Dollar Tree. They already come in little bundles of 3. I'm just going to tighten them, cut off the excess stem, and just hot glue one of 3 in one side and then a little bundle of 2 on the other side. And then just to kind of hang the star in case we want to hang it, I'm just going to add a jute string through the top point, make a knot, and that's it. Oh, I love this one. It's so rustic. It's actually a really good size and it's definitely one of my favorites from today.
Everything will be okay, 'cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you.
For this next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take several of these stems. I'm going to take 2 longer ones, but they're thicker, 2 flat ones, thicker ones, and then several of the long, thin ones, because we're going to make some really cute rustic reindeers. I saw these in Pinterest and I just thought I have to recreate them. How fun would this be to also do with your kids or your grandkids, of course, with supervision, but I think it'd be so much fun. All right, so as you can see, I hot glued 2 of the thinner ones to the end of each of the longer, thicker ones. And then on the flat ones, I'm just going to drill a couple of holes. This is going to be essentially the head of the reindeer. And I'm going to make those holes kind of like on top, but also kind of like tilted to the side. And then I'm going to hot glue the head right onto the smaller stick, just like that. For the antlers, we're just going to use some of these little branches from this pick I got on Amazon. I'm just going to place them in the little holes with some hot glue.
Oh, how I wish for the Christmases of old.
And now it's time to add the legs. Now this is where it gets a little tricky just because you want to find legs that are as close as possible to even size. If they're not even, that's okay. Don't worry. Mine were not. They're a little tilted, but it worked out fine in the end. So I'm just going to hot glue them to the bottom of each reindeer. And again, this is just going to be the little legs where the reindeer is going to stand on. And then I decided I just needed a little something to the front. So I decided to take these little berries. One is in the red, one is in the golden tone, and we're just going to hot glue it to the head on the front side. And that way it looks like little Rudolph and maybe a friend right next to him. And I think it's just adorable. You can make a whole little family of reindeers. You can use these as also ornaments. I think the possibilities are endless.
We heard of angels up on high while building Frosty the Snow.
For this next Dollar Tree Christmas hack is the easiest one. We're going to make little firewood bundles out of these stems. We're going to take 3 bundles. We're going to make 3 bundles of 3. There you go. And we're just going to hot glue them together, 2 together and then 1 on top. And we're going to do that to all 3. And then we're going to take some jute string. We're going to tie it around in a simple knot. Once I had the bundles nice and tight, I'm just going to grab a longer piece of jute string, and this is what we're going to use to create a little hanging string. We're going to tie it around just like we did originally, and we're going to try to keep it as aligned with the other knot as possible, and then just make another knot on top, and that way we have a nice hanging little firewood bundle. Again, it's so easy, something you can definitely make with your kiddos or grandkids. How fun are these?
It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why.
For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack is another super easy one. We're going to take several of the thicker flat ones and we're going to make little snowman ornaments. It is so easy. We're going to take the larger ones and that's going to be the bottom part of the snowman, and then a smaller one, we're going to hot glue it right on top. And then we're going to take some of this red string that I got at Dollar Tree. We're just going to wrap it around the neck to create the illusion of a scarf. We're going to tie it in a knot. So easy. Anyone can do this. You can use any string you want, any ribbon, even fabric if that's what you want to use. And we're going to do the same thing on all 3 snowmen. Now we are going to place one of these little eye hooks to the top of each snowman so that we can hang him. I'm just going to pre-drill a hole on the top of the head and just then screw in each eyelet. These are so easy to use. I get these packets on my Amazon store. So we're just going to add one to each, and then we're going to take more of that red string and you're just going to tie it to the little hook. And that's it. This is what we're going to hang it from. Such an easy craft. You can add a little nose. You can add buttons. I just thought I'd leave them right nice and simple, very rustic. And I just love the way this one turned out.
I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day.
For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, another easy craft that anyone can make. I'm going to take 3 additional ones of those larger flat ones, and I'm going to drill a hole right in the center. Doesn't have to go all the way through, just about halfway through. Then I'm going to take a combination of different greeneries from Dollar Tree, cut off some of the branches, and add them to the hole with some hot glue. This is going to give me 3 little tiny trees, evergreen, that you can add to a little village. You can add to any decor. They're just so cute, so festive. I love them. And that's pretty much it. I told you it was easy. Such a cute idea. You can actually make this for any season and use whatever flowers you want. And I think it will look so, so cute. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take some more of those longer ones in a combination of thinner and thicker ones. And we're just going to start hot gluing them all in a row, adding 6 of them. And that's going to be the base of what will be a little Christmas tree. And then once I had 6 of them hot glued together, we're going to add 5 on top, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. You see where I'm going with this. We're just going to hot glue them in place until we have a nice triangle shaped tree. Once I had the tree all made, I'm going to take 2 of the thicker flat ones. We're going to hot glue them together and then hot glue the tree right on top. Then I'm going to really secure it and just making sure it's not going to go anywhere by adding some hot glue on the bottom. I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint and the moss green and just start painting the front of the tree as well as the top, or like the sides of the tree. We're not looking for full coverage. I actually want it to look a little sloppy, so it looks a little bit more of a distressed, rustic look. And once it was dry, it's looking so adorable. Okay, so now it's time to add some greenery. Again, we're going to take some of this greenery from Dollar Tree, take some of the branches. We're just going to start hot gluing it just kind of until I see what I like. I want it to be kind of full, but not overwhelming. And so I'm just going to keep adding some of the greenery right onto the bottom stems. Then I'm going to add one of these little pine cones right to the center. And I thought it was just needed a little bit more of like a red tone. So I'm adding 1 more of those little red berry bundles from Dollar Tree. Hot glue it to the side, and look how cute this is. It's adorable. Now think about this. You can make this tree any size you want. You can make it way larger, thicker, taller. Oh, the possibilities are endless. But I love little wooden lanterns. They actually light up and they're so cute. Very actually well made, and they're a great size for crafting. I'm going to use this one for a Christmas decor. I'm just going to remove the tag and then give it 1 coat of Waverly chalk paint and the white. Then I'm going to take these little skis that I recently got at Target Dollar Spot. They were $5. I thought it was a pretty good deal because they are a good size. Then I'm going to take 8 of these garland ties from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to divide them into 2 groups of 4. Then I'm going to take a 9th one and cut it in half and use it to tie each bundle in the center, twist it securely, and then spread them out a little bit to create like a little swag. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one and then crisscross them as we hot glue them to the center of these skis. Once it was secure in place, I'm going to take the little lantern and hot glue it right on top. Then, of course, we want to add some color and some festive decor. I'm going to add these little red berries that I found at Target Dollar Spot as well. The pick was $3, and I'm just going to cut the different little branches and just start hot gluing them and placing them all around the lantern. I thought it was missing some color, so I just wanted to add these lighter green color leafy picks from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to start hot gluing them all around the lantern as well. And then I'm going to add some pine cones just for more texture. And we're just about done with this one. I put it first because it is totally my favorite. I love how festive it is. It is actually a really good size, only a few dollars to make, and what a great piece to add to any decor this Christmas. For the next Dollar Tree hack, we're going to start with this wreath ring form from Target Dollar Spot. It was also $5. I'm going to remove the little house because we are going to zhuzh it up and make it a lot more grand and festive. I'm going to grab a couple of these evergreen picks that I do get on Amazon, and I do have them on my Amazon store. So if you want to check them out, I'm going to hot glue it to each side, and then I'm going to add some more of these Dollar Tree picks because that way we can make it taller and a little fuller. Then I'm going to take one of these foam from Dollar Tree. We're going to hot glue a piece of it to the end of it just to make it thicker. And to make it more secure, I am going to tie it with some jute string. I'm just going to loop it and then tie it around. I did do it 3 times, that I ended up removing the middle one, so that way we can hot glue the lantern right into the center. Here is the lantern that we're going to be using for this one. It's another design but beautifully made. It also lights up and it's just gorgeous. So I'm just going to hot glue it right there in the center. We're going to add more greenery picks. We're just going to add one to each side of the lantern to cover up the foam and just add more fullness. And then we're going to add some of these Dollar Tree glittery red picks. They're actually from the 4th of July collection, but why not use them for Christmas, right? I'm going to add a couple to each side. This is going to add, again, just more festive decor as well as color. And then I'm going to add a couple of these poinsettias from Dollar Tree. Just going to add one on each side of the lantern.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is
And that's it for this one. Another beautiful one. These little lanterns are perfect to add that extra high-end look. Anything that you can light up is just gorgeous, and leaving it in that wood tone was perfect.
We come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold.
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take these little wooden star from Dollar Tree. They always have them in the crafting section. I'm going to give it one full coat of Waverly chalk pen in the white. All right, so now we're going to take this large clear ornament from Dollar Tree. It is beautiful, and we're going to remove the little top. We don't need that part. Now we're going to take this glittery silver pick again from Dollar Tree. We're just going to cut up a few branches, and then we're going to thread it through the opening of the ornament. We're going to put 3 of these in there. It's kind of tight because of how stiff the picks are, but it's doable. And once you're in there, you just kind of push them to one side, and they actually kind of stayed pretty put. And I'm going to do that 2 more times.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun.
Once I had those in place, I'm going to take some of these little foam beads. These were a hot mess. They're truly foam, and they are just, I didn't even know what to do with them. I wanted to, of course, put some in. So then I tried to do it by hand. It wasn't working. I tried my kitchen funnel. Then they got stuck. So I was trying to use my finger to unstuck them. That made it worse. Then I tried my scissors to unstuck them also. Yep, that didn't work. So then I said, let me just take a craft piece of paper and make a funnel. And that actually worked. So there you have it. But looking back, I won't use these again. They were everywhere. They're very staticky. They stick to everything. They're just a hot mess, but they look pretty. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on, and I'm going to add some of this white sand that I got during the summertime. We're just going to place it right in there. We're making a little snow globe. So we're just going to add this sand. This is just going to add more snow-like feel to it. I am now going to take my wood burning tool, and I'm just going to burn a hole on the base of the ornament. very carefully just make it right in there and just kind of whiten it just a little bit. This is going to allow me to be able to thread some fairy lights. These are beautiful. They come 10 lights in each string and they're battery operated. They take 2 AA batteries and they light up very nicely. So I'm just going to string them and thread them right through that little hole all the way inside.
Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this
And then I'm going to add plenty of hot glue right on the rim of the opening and then attach the star. And of course you want to hold it until it hardens. I made the mistake of moving it a little bit and it kind of messed up. So just make sure you hold on to it. Now it's time to add some greenery picks to the front of the snow globe. This is just to kind of add some decor. We're going to hot glue 2 of them right on the base of the star towards the front of the snow globe. Then I am going to add some of these other picks from Dollar Tree just to add more dimension and just kind of character. We're going to do the same thing, just hot glue it in place. Then we're going to add more of those glittery picks.
Give you a Christmas moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe's baby with you. I don't need any presents as long as I
And to finish it off, we're going to add one of these silver bells from Dollar Tree. And this snow globe is stunning. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the darker room. It's so beautiful and so fun to make.
making plans for what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you.
See these when you get there, make sure you grab them because they go really fast. I'm going to quickly measure the wood round so that you can see what size it actually is. It's about 11 3/4 of an inch.
I am going to remove the tag and the juice drink from it. Give it a coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. I'm going to do just 1, but you can do 2 if you need to. 1 was pretty good for me. I am then going to take 4 of these Dollar Tree ornaments. Recently, I did a video where I updated these ornaments into beautiful custom decor. We are going to use them on the wood round. I did keep the little silver top portion because we are going to place them right on top again. Then I'm going to take some of this buffalo check red vinyl from Dollar Tree and cover the first one and then use my sanding block to remove the excess vinyl from the edges. This gives it a nice smooth finish. Then I'm just going to place the silver portion right on top with some hot glue. The second ornament, we're going to cover half of it with this iron-on vinyl from Dollar Tree. It's a beautiful golden, like shimmery one. And then I'm going to use my little mini heat press, remove the plastic from the top, and then again use my sanding block to remove the excess vinyl. Then the top portion, I'm going to cover it with the buffalo check vinyl from Dollar Tree, the white and the black one. Place it right on top. Just press it down, and then again using the sanding block, we are going to remove the excess vinyl. You can definitely leave these ornaments as decorated as we're doing, but of course we're going to use it on the wood round. Then I'm going to take the third one and I'm going to cover the top portion with a iron-on vinyl in the red, and then the bottom portion with a vinyl green one from Dollar Tree as well. And then once again, yes, we're going to sand down the edges for a smooth finish and place back the silver portion. For the fourth and final one, we're going to place the iron-on glittery silver vinyl on the top, remove the excess vinyl, and then the bottom with a red vinyl from Dollar Tree and replace the top portion. Now we have 4 beautiful custom ornaments. Now we're going to start just kind of place them towards the bottom of the wood round. We're just going to try to place them in a way where they complement each other. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner in the silver, hot glue it to the back, and then hot glue each ornament. I'm going to cut off the excess pipe cleaners and I'm just going to fold them to the top of it. We're going to hot glue it in the back and secure it with some masking tape for a secure hold.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling.
I'm not going to add some greenery to the top of the wood round. We're just going to hot glue it in place. This is some greenery that I got on Amazon. I'm going to keep adding some Dollar Tree picks and some glittery ones, some red ones, silver ones, just to add a lot of texture and color. We're going to add a pine cone and a bell just to finish things off. And this one is absolutely stunning. I love the ornaments, how they hang from the greenery. It's just so, so beautiful.
'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas.
The next Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I am going to take another one of the wood rounds, remove the string from it, and give it another coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white.
Once it was dry, I am going to freehand what will be a peppermint candy. I thought it would be so great to create something like this. Each line is going to have like a curve, and I'm making sure that I have 8 lines. Then I'm going to take the Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red, and I'm just going to start painting every other line in the red so that we can alternate the red and the white. Friends, I am going to invite you to stay to the end of the video. At the end of the video, I am going to show you how I transform my fireplace mantle from fall to Christmas. And I have a small clip to show you so that you can see how it turned out for Christmas. So stay tuned to the end of the video, and I can't wait to show you how it turned out. Once it was completely dry, I am going to take some of this clear, it's like a gift bag kind of clear paper, and then I am going to just kind of cover the front, taping it to the back. I didn't decide to do all of it because I didn't want it to be too thick, but clear tape really held really well. And then once I had it secured in the back, I'm going to flip it back to the front, and then we're going to scrunch up the corners. This is going to give it that candy effect. Now, I'm not looking for them to be completely scrunched up. Just a little tightness is sufficient. I'm going to tie it with a pipe cleaner. I am now going to cut the excess plastic. Now I want to make sure I leave enough that's going to really complement the size of the peppermint. So just make sure you leave enough. Then I'm going to take some Dollar Tree red ribbon. I'm just going to cover up those pipe cleaners and then just kind of tie it in a, first I thought of a bow, but then I switched it up and I just made a very loose knot. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I decided that it needed some greenery. Although you can leave it like this, I just thought if it's used as a wreath, which it could be, I'm just going to add some of these greenery from Amazon. Again, it's also in my Amazon store. And some red berries from a pick from Target Dollar Spot. I'm going to take another piece of that red ribbon and I'm going to tie it nice and tight into a simple knot. Not a bow, unless you could, but I didn't do it. I did secure the back with some more tape, and this is stunning. I think I'm going to keep this one and use it as my front porch wreath. What do you think?
Keeping people pleased, but this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start.
Our next Dollar Tree Christmas craft. Once again, we're going to take another wood round. We're going to remove the string and we're going to give it 1 coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white.
And once it was dry, I'm going to take a design that I created on my Cricut that says Christmas in a beautiful red vinyl, and I'm going to place it towards the bottom of it. We're going to create a countdown to Christmas sign, which we are going to keep in our home this year. Then I'm going to take another one that says Days Till, in this little galvanized sign that you can find them at Dollar Tree. I'm going to place the decal right underneath. And then I am going to hot glue the galvanized sign onto the wood round towards the left side of the wood round, making sure it's very carefully because the hot glue does make the tin very hot. Then I'm going to add some greenery, kind of like going from top, kind of draping to the right side. And then I'm going to take this beautiful golden pick from Target Dollar Spot. I'm just going to hot glue a couple to each side. And then I'm going to add some more of those Amazon greeneries just to make it fuller and more festive. I'm going to take this ribbon from Dollar Tree, make a multiple loop bow, tie it in the center with some red string, and then we're going to have a nice fluffy bow to place in the center. And this is going to complement and really make that Christmas really pop. And we're just going to attach it with hot glue. That's it. Now, I found these numbers are magnetic at the Dollar Spot at Target a while back, and I thought it was perfect. They stick to the galvanized tin, and it just looks stunning. So festive. How fun. My kids loved it, and we're going to start a countdown on December 25th.
Dollar Tree Christmas craft, I am going to show you how I turn a wood round into a lighted wood sign that is just absolutely stunning.
I'm also going to take one of these vinyl from Dollar Tree. They're the glittery kind. I recently just posted a video just displaying all kinds of DIYs using these vinyls. So check it out. I'm going to have it linked down below. I'm going to cover a little bit of the portion of the wood round. It wasn't wide enough to cover the entire thing, but that's okay. I'm going to take another piece of that vinyl and just place it where it's missing. Now you're going to see a little bit of that crease. That's okay. We're going to cover that up. So once I had it in its place, then it's time to start cutting off the excess. I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and cut all around. All right, so now I'm going to use my sanding block from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to sand down the edges. Such an easy technique to make those edges nice and smooth. I'm going to take this wooden tree form from the Dollar Tree from last year's Christmas stash, and I'm going to cover the top with some Dollar Tree caulk. I've used this technique before. It's such an easy way to add texture to any surface. I'm just going to add, it doesn't matter how you add it as long as just it's covered. And of course, I want it to be very textured, so I'm just going in all directions, and then I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to cut off some pieces of foam core so that I can put it behind the tree in between the wood round and the tree, and I'm going to cut 3 of them. And then I'm just going to simply hot glue them together and on the wood round, and this is just going to create that space, that 3D effect between the wood round and the tree. I did drill a hole on the side of the foam core blue lights that I got last year at Dollar Tree. They were in their Christmas section. After I placed the battery, I secured everything back in place, and it's time to just start applying the lights. I'm just going to wrap them around the foam core. So first I got to thread them through the back. So I'm going to drill, like I said, another hole, make it wide enough for the lights to fit through. Then I'm going to keep the battery pack on the back and just thread the lights through the hole until they're all in the front, and then wrap them around that foam core. I did secure the battery pack on the back of the wood round with some tape. I think these turned out so stinking cute. It's a perfect color for this DIY. Now, I know it looks purple. I don't know what's going on with like the camera, but it's not. It's actually really blue, so I really like it. Once the caulk was dry, I'm just going to give it one pretty heavy coat of Rust-Oleum chalked paint in the linen white, and then let that fully dry. Once it was dry, then it's time to start attaching it onto the wood round, and it's such an easy step. Just basically add some hot glue and place the tree right on top. I wanted to add something, of course, to the right side of the tree, and I did not have any of these little pom-pom balls, but I did have this ribbon that had them, so I just cut them off and reused them as little snowflakes. So I'm just going to hot glue them here and there all over around the tree. And then I'm going to take some more of those glittery picks. This time they're going to be white. I'm just going to start placing them towards the bottom of on there. And I think it turned out absolutely stunning. I love those lights. I know they look purple, but they're actually blue. And I think it's just beautiful. All right, friends, so as promised, this is a clip of how I transformed my fall mantle into a Christmas mantle with a farmhouse charm. Enjoy! All right, friends, you're gonna have to let me know. What do you think? I am so in love with this mantle. I just love Christmas. And again, this is just one of multiple places that I'm gonna show you how I decorate for Christmas. I found these amazing and ginormous pine cones already in this beautiful red. They only had one of the natural color tone ones. I grabbed that one and several other of the red ones and brought them home. Let me show you a little bit of a close-up. These are stunning. They're huge. I've never seen them at Dollar Tree, but I could be wrong. Let me know if you've ever seen these at your Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the little tag, of course, and then I'm going to grab this beautiful Merry Christmas ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And then I am going to start arranging how I want the pine cones to kind of hang. We're going to create a wall decor, or it could also be like a door wreath. And then I'm going to grab the ribbon and just cut pieces that will fit the length that I need for each pine cone. And I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of each one. I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree wood planks, and then I'm going to mark where I need to cut. I'm going to score it with my blade knife, snap it, and then I'm going to sand it down smooth, and then I'm going to have a board that is going to be perfect for my design. Then I'm going to cut off the excess paper around the design, and I'm going to tape it to the plank using some heat-resistant tape. And then I'm going to take it to my auto heat press. Although you don't need to have an auto heat press, you can just use an iron if you need to. I'm just going to place it, set it to the correct settings, and then let it go. Once it was done, I pulled it out very carefully, of course, because it's going to be very hot. And then I'm going to take it to my station. I'm going to show you how beautifully this transferred. Look at that beautiful design. I love it. All right, so now I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree picks. I love these, but you know what I mean. Like, they're kind of not put together very well sometimes, so you just kind of fluff them up a little bit, and they do well. I want this to be a little bit grander, a little bit more large, so I'm going to grab some of these garland ties from Dollar Tree. I grabbed 5. I'm just going to tie it in the center using a piece of jute string. What I like to do is I like to make a loop on one end and then wrap it around, thread it through the loop, and this is going to give me a nice, tight, secure hold. Then I'm just going to wrap it around a few times and just tie it in a knot with the other end. That's it. Very easy. Now, once I had it tied, I wanted some red in there to really make those pine cones really pop. I'm going to use another one of those Dollar Tree picks, set it in the middle, tie it with jute string, and then hot glue an extra pine cone right there in the center so it looks nice and full. Then I'm going to bring in the massive, large pine cones, and I'm just going to start again arranging them in the order that I want them to hang. Once I had it where I want it, I'm just going to tie it in the knot with all the ribbon. I'm not going to cut off the excess ribbon quite yet because I want to make sure this is how long I want them to be. Then I'm going to grab the arrangement. I'm just going to set it right underneath the knot. Grab another piece of jute strings, thread it through the arrangement. I'm going to flip it over to show you. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Just make sure that the knot of the ribbon is above the tie with the jute string. Then the beautiful Believe sign I'm going to place right on top. I'm going to add a whole ton of hot glue right there in the center. And I'm just going to place the ribbon right on there. Just kind of tighten it. Just keep pushing it down until it's nice and secure. Cut off the excess now. Then I'm going to bring this buffalo check red and white ribbon, beautiful, from Dollar Tree. I'm going to hot glue just a piece. That way we can hang it from that, and I think this is absolutely stunning. It is huge. These pine cones are stunning, and that Believe design from Creative Fabrica just did beautifully. For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take another one of those planks and I'm going to measure 2-inch pieces. The first one I'm just going to mark and then just do the same thing that I did earlier. Mark it, score it, snap it, and then sand it. And this is going to give me just a nice smooth and smaller pieces that I can work for my next project. I took that first one and I'm just going to mark and then do the same thing so I have additional 3 ones. So I have a total of 4 of them. Once I had them, I'm just going to, again, sand them down just smooth. Make sure there's no splinters because they do get kind of splintery. And then I'm going to give them 1 coat of Rust-Oleum Chalkman in the Farmhouse Red. And I'm going to do the front and the back. This time I'm going to use my Cricut. And then I cut off 3 words, which will say joy to the world, which we're all familiar. I am going to place them in each little red plank because we are going to make a centerpiece for my table.
Good time.
Recently, I went to Dollar Tree and I found these candle holders that are beautiful. They have them in two sizes, a large and a small. I brought 4 of them, 2 of each. And then I'm going to cut off, of course, the tag. And the goal is to get these hot glued to the top of each one. I want the 2 larger ones to be in the center. So I'm going to hot glue the first one and then go along on the other 3.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
And then it's time to just put everything together in my dining room. So I'm just going to start with the 2 center one to make sure they are where they need to be. And then I'm going to add the other 2. Then I'm just going to add some greenery that I found at Target Dollar Spot. This was a larger pick. I broke into 2. I'm just going to place it in the center. And then I'm going to add some red berries, also from Target Dollar Spot. I'm just going to place them 1 on each side and then 1 in the center. And then I'm going to add 1 poinsettia, a white one from Dollar Tree. And this is my dining room centerpiece, and I cannot be any happier. I love it. I still need to put the candles on because I didn't have any, but I love the way it turned out.
Christmas in my heart, but this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
For the next Christmas hack, I'm going to take these wooden ornaments that I got on Amazon. Recently, I did a video where I used a lot of these ornaments to customize them into beautiful Christmas ornaments. I'm going to use 4 of them today. I do have this set. It comes with 100 of them, and it's like $25, which is a really good deal, and I think you're going to love it. So it is in my Amazon store, which is linked down below. I found these 4 beautiful wreath designs on Creative Fabrica's platform, and I'm just going to cut off 4 of them, the excess paper around it, and I'm going to tape them to each ornament. Now, this came with many more designs. These are just 4 that I got, but when I downloaded it, it had like maybe 8 or 9. It was such a good deal. I love these little wreaths, and of course, I sized them to what I needed. I'm going to do the last one here and just attach it with some heat-resistant tape, and then I'm going to take it to my auto heat press. I'm just going to place them right there in the center, and I'm going to let it do its thing. Look how beautiful these designs turned out. These ornaments are stunning. I love it. Okay, so now that they're cooled down, I am going to paint the little top portion with that same red from earlier, the Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the farmhouse red. And look how beautiful these turned out. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of this red ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off a piece that I think is going to be enough to create little hanging ribbons for each ornament. Then I cut off 4 to the same size, and I'm going to attach them to each one. And this is it for these, guys. They are stunning. I love the way they turn out. So custom and so easy. It doesn't get any easier than this. And remember, you can use your iron. And they are in my Etsy shop, so check them out. For the next Christmas hack, I'm going to take one of these canvases tote bags. I'm going to cut off the excess paper once again, and this time we're going to center it right in the center of that tote bag with some tape. We're going to place it in my auto heat press, but you can use your iron, don't forget. And then once it was all done, I'm going to show you how beautifully this transferred. This design from Creative Fabrica is stunning, so beautiful. I can't believe I found it completely free. All right, so here's an idea. You can use these tote bags as a gift bag, so you can place somebody's Christmas gift right inside with some tissue paper, or you can also fold it into 4 nice and neatly and actually give the tote bag as a gift. So all you're going to do is just fold it into 4s and grab some ribbon. It don't matter which ribbon, anything Christmassy will do. And then you're just going to wrap it around with the ribbon, twist it in the center, or not the center, the bottom. Flip it over again, do it 1 more time, all the way around. That way it's going to be the illusion of a thicker ribbon, and then bring it back to the front. And then we're just going to make a very simple bow.
But the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've got
Then I added some greenery just to add a little bit of festive touch to it. I'm going to slide it right in between the tote bag and the ribbon. And that's it for this one. Such an easy and clever gift idea for anyone, or use it as a gift bag, which will be a two-gift.
Party clear plates you can find at Dollar Tree year-round. They're in the party section, and they come about 8 in a pack.
I'm going to take one as well as this jar that's also from Dollar Tree. I removed the lid from the jar and I'm just going to hot glue it right onto the center of the plate. We're going to make a cute little centerpiece for Christmas. This is such an easy thing you can do, and you can even make multiples and add them to different parts of the home or even long party tables. I'm going to start adding some of these greenery picks that I do get on Amazon, but Dollar Tree does have their own version. I'm just going to kind of curve them a little bit and hot glue them all around the center jar. I am now going to start adding some color onto the decor. These glittery red picks you can find at Dollar Tree during Christmas, and actually you can find a different version during the summertime for 4th of July. And I'm just going to start cutting small little pieces of them and just start hot gluing them all around the jar.
Making our Christmas memories.
And of course, we want to add some pine cones. Pine cones is a great way to add texture, fullness, and just have a little bit of a rustic look to it. And they're so Christmassy. So I'm going to add a few just by adding some hot glue all around the jar. And then finally, I wanted to add something else, and I got this ticking stripe ribbon from Dollar Tree. I had only a little bit left over, so I'm just going to grab a few pieces, maybe around 3 to 4 inches long, and then I'm just going to kind of curve them and then start hot gluing them all around the jar. This is going to give the illusion that the ribbon is kind of going in and out through the greenery, but really it's just all I had left was this, so I just cut them into small pieces and hot glue them in place. I added a candle from Dollar Tree, and I think this little centerpiece is stunning. It is so simple but so festive, and again, you can make multiples and make it a set.
It's a chance to start over new.
For the next Dollar Tree hack, I'm going to take these ornaments from Dollar Tree. You've seen them before. They are beautiful. They have a planked look to them. I'm going to remove the little galvanized portion of it and sand down the surface of it. This is just going to remove any sheen from the surface and also scuff it up a little bit. And then I have found that the paint sticks very well to a surface like this. Once I had them dry, I am going to sand down the edges using my sanding block to smooth it out and add a little bit of distress. I am then going to hot glue those galvanized pieces on top once again. The paint that I use is Rust-Oleum chalk pen in the linen white and Rust-Oleum chalk pen in the farmhouse red. Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase, "Joy to the world, the Lord has come." I curved it so that it matches the curve of the ornaments. I'm going to distress the edges using some Waverly antiquing wax, and I'm going to do the same thing to the galvanized portion so it doesn't look as new. Once I had them in place, I'm going to hot glue each ornament together, kind of a little bit of an angle, just to add a little bit of character. I'm going to spray the top with a top coat by Rust-Oleum. This is just going to seal everything in and not go anywhere. I'm going to take some more of that ticking stripe and I'm going to hot glue a little bit of it just to each ornament, just to make it look like they're hanging. Then I'm just going to hang both ornaments just so that I have the right angle to hot glue them together. I'm going to make a little swag using some greenery. The little greenery in place, I'm just going to tie it with some jute string just to secure everything in place and then hot glue it onto the ribbon. For added security, I'm going to tie the jute string around the ribbon and tie it into a knot. This little reindeer ornament is from, I believe, Dollar General, but I believe Dollar Tree has them as well. I'm going to remove everything from it, hot glue it onto the greenery, and then make a very simple bow using Dollar Tree red ribbon and hot glue it right onto the neck of the reindeer. And that's it for this one. Such a beautiful, simple ornament. If you do not have a Cricut, you can always use whatever you have on hand, even permanent marker. For the next Dollar Tree Christmas hack, I'm going to take this piece of leftover board. It's a wooden board and it's just kind of large, and I love it because it was a scrap piece that we had. I'm going to sand it down smoothly, wipe it down really well, and I'm going to give it a couple of coats of Rust-Oleum chalk pen in the linen white. And then, of course, we're going to let it fully dry. I love working with wood because you can create some really high-end and durable pieces. So every so often, I love using real wood. I'm going to take this little camper Season's Greetings Dollar Tree sign. I'm going to remove some of the things from it. We're going to put it right back on it. So we're going to remove it nice and soft. I'm going to sand down all the glitter that is on top of the piece because we are going to be painting and recreating this piece to a little bit more my style. I'm going to take the Rust-Oleum chalk pen in the linen white, and I'm just going to paint all the portion that is white, even over the Season's Greetings. I'm going to give it a couple of coats and then let it dry. I'm going to take the Waverly chalk pen in the ink, and I'm going to paint the door and the window in black.
On my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out.
I also get the wheel of fresh coat of paint using the same Waverly chalk paint in the ink. This is just going to give it a nice fresh look. Then it's time to add some ribbon. This tick and stripe ribbon is a larger, thicker one that I found. I believe this one was at Dollar General, but I could be wrong. It was a while ago. I'm going to cut off a piece, and I'm just going to cover where that red glittery portion was. I'm just going to cut off a piece, use my rotary cutter as well as my scissors just to make everything nice and smooth on the edges. And then we're just going to hot glue it in place, and we're going to cut off that wheel portion as well. Now that I have everything cut, it's just time to attach everything using hot glue, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the door. Isn't it already looking so cute? I love it. That little red portion that was on it, I'm just going to place it right back on it. We're going to leave it red because I just thought that pop of red was really cute. The little tree that was on top, we're going to hot glue it in place one more time, but we are not going to leave it like this. We're actually going to make it a lot more festive and 3D. We're going to take some of the garland ties from Dollar Tree. We're going to start cutting pieces, bending them in a V shape, and hot gluing them in place just so that they overlap the camper just a little bit. And doesn't it look already so much better? I love it. So hot glue, that is sufficient. And then we're going to take a little piece of stick from outside, and we're just going to place it as if it was the stem of the tree.
Isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a
We're going to add some details like the doorknob just to kind of finish things off. And then we're going to cut off the excess ribbon, again, just to clean everything and make it look nice and professional. Now remember the board we painted white? I haven't forgotten. This camper is going to go right on that board. We're going to nail it onto it on the left bottom corner. We're going to create a larger sign, but again, using these inexpensive items from Dollar Tree to make it nice and festive. Using my Cricut, I cut out the word Christmas in this beautiful red font, and I'm just going to place it right on top. Once I remove the transfer tape, it's just going to be attached there permanently, and I love it. We're going to create another tree using the same technique with the V-shape garland ties. This time we're going to make a larger tree. We're just going to do it on the right side of the camper, and then on the bottom we're going to add another piece of stick to act as the stem.
all the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas.
And we're just about done with this one. Such an easy way to upgrade all of these Dollar Tree decor. I love it. It's one of my favorites, and it is so festive.
In the sand you ready. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart.
For the next Dollar Tree hack is such an easy one. We're going to take 3 of these silver spray bottles from Dollar Tree. They already have that beautiful festive silver look to them. We're going to take some of this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. We're going to cut off 3 pieces. We're going to cover the thread portion of each spray bottle just using some hot glue. And then once everything was covered on the top, we're going to spell the word joy onto these spray bottles. We're going to make them into vases. So I use my Cricut and spell out the word joy, and we're going to place 1 letter in each spray bottle. And then it's time to just add some greenery. You can add whatever you want to these. You can even add stones or sand to the bottom of each jar so they're heavier on the bottom and not tilt over. I'm going to use some of these greenery picks again from Amazon and some of these glittery berry ones from Dollar Tree. Just make it festive and simple. This would be a great centerpiece for your table, but also it could be a great way to just add some decor maybe to a countertop. The possibilities are endless. I just think they turn out so stinking cute. They're one of my favorites from today because they're so easy, festive, and we didn't even have to paint the jars. Isn't that great? For the next Christmas hack, we are going to take 2 of these items. They are from Target Dollar Spot. One was a pizza, kind of like a serving tray. The other one is more of a little bit decorative chalkboard. They're both round, and we're going to make a snowman out of it. We're going to remove everything from the chalkboard one, and then we're going to take a large paint sticks, and we're going to hot glue them together so that they can be joined together. And we're going to secure it with some brad nails as well. And then we're going to add a fresh coat of paint. We're going to add some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. We're going to cover the front a couple of times to make sure that it's nice and full coverage. You know that snowmen have to have a little hat. I'm going to take this leftover piece of fabric. It came from a tree skirt that I got several years ago, and I had this piece left over. We're just going to hot glue it around the head of the snowman at a little bit of an angle, just to add a little bit of interest. And then we're going to staple it in place to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. We're also going to go with some hot glue and just shape it into more of a hat shape. And that way it's going to look nice and festive. Once I had it shaped the way I wanted, I am going to tilt it a little bit to the left, and then we're going to hot glue it in place so it does not move on me. Then it's time to add a little bit of a puff ball to the end of the hat. So I took a leftover piece of dusting mop from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off a piece from it, and we're going to hot glue it to the end of the hat. And I want to add a scarf to it. This scarf is from Dollar Tree. They currently have some really cool designs, and they're great for crafting. I'm going to wrap it around its neck. And again, we're just going to secure it in place by adding some hot glue here and there, just to make sure that it's going to keep the shape that I want. And once I had it where I wanted it, it's time to add some buttons to this beautiful snowman. I didn't have any large enough buttons to justify the size of the snowman, so I took these little wired berries that you can find at Dollar Tree. They have different colors, but these are the ones that I had on hand. They have like a deep red burgundy tone, and I'm just going to wrap it around a few times into a circle. And once I had a shape that was large enough to fit the snowman, I'm going to cut it using my wire cutters and then hot glue him in place. I wanted to add a snow to Mr. Snowman here, so I'm going to freehand one using some latex orange paint and a small brush. I'm just going to make it into a carrot shape. I'm going to lift the hat just a little bit so that the nose actually tucks in into the hat. And to finish it off, I'm just going to add some greenery to the hat. This is just going to add a little bit more interest. This bright green, I thought it was beautiful, so I'm just going to add it right there with some hot glue. And this little snowman is not so little, let me tell you. It's kind of large, and I love how festive and beautiful it is. Love it. For the next Christmas decor hack, I'm going to take this Bless Our Home sign that I made so long ago. It never sold, I never used it, and I just thought, let me reuse the board because it's such a large board. We're going to give it a couple of coats of chalk paint in the white, and then we're going to sand down the edges just to add some character and dimension to the edges. This little galvanized wagon wheel, it is such a cute size and so, I think, well made. It's from Target Dollar Spot. I just screwed it in with a couple of screws onto the left bottom corner of the board. Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase, "Come let us adore him," from the song, and I placed it on the right side of the board. I'm going to take this little pine evergreen tree from Target Dollar Spot, remove the buffalo check fabric that it had, and I'm just going to put it inside the little wagon wheel. I'm going to cover everything using some moss that I already had on hand, as well as some moss balls from Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to add some more of those glittery picks from earlier just to add a little bit of interest. I added a couple of sawtooth hooks to the back of the board so we can hang it. And this one turned out so adorable. Another beautiful and easy way to create a beautiful large decor for Christmas. This one is stunning. We're going to start with some foam core. I am going to just cut off a few pieces. This one is about 4 inches wide and about 12, maybe 11 inches tall. I'm going to then find the middle on the top, make it into a triangle, and I'm just going to cut it using my knife blade. I'm going to do the same thing with 2 other ones, but this time they're going to be a little on the smaller side. I'm going to use 3 different designs. These complement each other so nicely. I'm going to cut off a piece of each just to have enough to cover each tree. I'm going to use my Gorilla adhesive spray, and we're going to cover all 3 trees. The larger one's going to have the solid red, and then the other 2 designs are going to go on the smaller ones. I use my rotary blade to remove the excess paper, but I am going to use my sanding block to just kind of soften those edges and make it nice and smooth. Then I'm going to take these 2 pieces of floral foam. I'm going to hot glue them to this beautiful sleigh that I found at Target Dollar Spot for $5. And then I'm going to take some leftover floral picks, and I'm just going to cut them into about maybe inch size ones, and I'm just going to squeeze them right through the foam core, and then we're going to add hot glue. Then we're going to stick them right onto the form. This is going to make sure that these trees are going to stay upright. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 small ones. I'm going to add some of this moss that I already had on hand from Dollar Tree to cover up the foam and just to make it nice and full. I am then going to take some silver glittery picks from Dollar Tree. We're just going to place them here and there until it looks nice and even. I don't want to overpack with decor. I want the trees to be the center of attention. So I'm just going to add those, and then some of these smaller little Christmas bulbs from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to hot glue them here and there. And I think this one is so adorable. It's definitely one of my favorites from today. The sleigh is stunning and the trees are so cute. For the next wrapping paper Christmas hack, I'm going to take this leftover sign from fall, remove everything from it, including the glitter that is on top. I'm going to use my electric sander, but you can certainly use any sanding paper you have. I am going to wipe it clean very well, and then I'm going to cover it with the solid red wrapping paper. I'm going to use again the Gorilla adhesive spray and place it right on top. I did cut off the excess, but I realized that the paper was still a little bit kind of see-through, and somehow it got these like dark spots. So I decided to double it up and add a second layer to it. No big deal, just added more spray on top and then covered it up, cut off the excess, and then I'm going to cut off the excess with the rotary blade once again. And then I'm going to take some ribbon that I recently got at Hobby Lobby. It was a huge spool of it. I'm just going to grab a piece and hot glue it, one going from one end to the other, and then crisscrossing another piece on the other side. This is going to give me the illusion of a Christmas gift. And once I had it in place, I'm going to take more ribbon and we're going to make a very simple bow. I'm just going to loop it several times right after each other. Once I had it where I wanted it, I'm going to cut it off and then I'm going to fold it in half. Once I fold it in half, I'm going to cut the edges, and then we're going to have a smaller middle section. This is going to make it easier to take some jute string and tie it tightly in a knot. I'm going to remove the excess jute string, and then I'm just going to fluff the bow and hot glue it to the center of the gift. We're going to put this one to the side because this is just 1/3 of the DIY today. I'm going to bring in this Christmas sign. I'm going to remove the ribbon from it, and I'm going to sand down the glitter again with my electric sander. I'm not going to remove the glitter on the top portion of it because I want that to remain nice and glittery. I wiped it really well, and I'm going to adhesive spray it and then apply this beautiful wrapping paper with a farmhouse truck on it. Once it was attached, I'm going to remove the excess paper and use my sanding block to remove the excess paper. Again, this gives it a nice smooth finish. Then I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to bring in a wooden star from the crafting section at Dollar Tree. Again, we're going to adhesive spray it, and we're going to add this beautiful snowflake white and green paper, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to remove the excess paper using the sanding block. Now that I have all 3 pieces done, I decided to antique the edges just a little bit using Waverly antiquing wax and a makeup sponge. This is going to give me a little bit more character, just a little grungier edges. You don't have to do this, it's just by preference. So I'm going to do that to all 3 pieces. And then once I was done with that, it's time to attach everything together. So I'm going to start with the box and the ornament. I'm just going to hot glue it in place. The ornament is going to be a little bit on the tilted side, but the box is going to be nice and straight so it can sit on the floor. And then I'm going to attach the star just the same, a little tilted right behind the ornament. I decided it was missing a little something, so I'm just going to add some greenery. These picks I get on Amazon. I'm going to add some more picks from Dollar Tree, a pine cone, and that's it for this one. What an adorable, and this is such a good size decor that you can put anywhere in your home and complement your decor. The next wrapping paper Christmas hack, I'm going to take this piece of foam core, and then I'm going to take this galvanized, it's like a summer planter, I guess. I'm just going to use one side of it just to kind of make a curve, and then I'm going to freehand just a little bit to get the shape that I need. I'm going to use my blade knife to cut it off, and once I had it out, I am going to take the sanding block and I am going to sand down the edges. Did you know that you can sand down foam core? You don't have to do it very harsh either. Just a little sand will go a long way and it'll smooth out those edges very nicely. Once I had it nice and smooth, I'm going to cut off another piece. This is going to be a rectangle piece, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to use a blade knife and cut it and sand it as smooth as we need. Then we're going to take this beautiful Dollar Tree wrapping paper. It has a gnome design, and we're going to adhesive spray it right onto the bigger piece. What we're creating is a little winter decor hat. Once I had it in place, once again, I'm going to use my sanding block and just sand off those edges. And then I'm going to take the smaller piece and I'm going to hot glue some yarn. This fluffy white yarn I got at Hobby Lobby about 2 years ago or so. I'm just going to hot glue the first couple and just going to wrap around the entire piece with. Once I had it all wrapped up, I'm just going to hot glue a piece, cut it off, and then I'm going to take more yarn and wrap it around my 4 fingers all around many times. I'm just going to make a little pom-pom. So once I had it wrapped up, I'm going to grab another piece and I'm going to tie it right around the center. Very easy. Once it's tied around the center nice and tightly, I am going to cut off all the loops and just split them in half. So I'm just going to slide the scissors right through the loops and cut them off. This is going to give me a nice fluffy pom-pom. I thought about cutting and evening out all the bristles, but then I decided to just leave them kind of messy. I thought it just looked really cute. So now it's time to attach everything together. I'm going to hot glue the bottom piece and then hot glue the pom-pom right on top. This is looking so adorable. Then I'm going to add some greenery from Dollar Tree just to add a little bit more of a texture and interest. And then I'm going to add one red bell from Dollar Tree. This is such an adorable decor. I have never made a hat before. I had so much fun. I cannot wait to try it. Even larger one. Wouldn't that be so beautiful? The wrapping paper, wow. For the next wrapping paper Christmas hack, I'm going to take one of these wreath forms that has the shape of a wheel, and I took it outside and spray painted red. While it is drying, I'm going to take this leftover summer sign, and I'm going to cut off a 6-inch piece off of it. The way I do it, you've probably seen me do it before. I take my blade knife, I score it a few times, I snap it, and then I sand it down smooth. I am now going to take my electric sander and I'm just going to sand down the top just to scuff it up just a little bit and make sure that the wrapping paper is going to stick to it. I wiped it really well, and again, I'm just going to adhesive spray the paper right onto it. And with my sanding block, I'm going to remove the excess paper from the edges. Friends, I'm going to invite you to stay till the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you a clip of how I decorated my Christmas tree this year, and my kiddos helped me. So if you want to watch that, stay till the end. There's a clip in there. This stencil I got as a part of a set at Dollar Tree. I want to say it was a couple of years ago. I'm going to stencil one that says Season's Greetings with Waverly chalk pen in the white and a makeup sponge. It's really easy. Just don't add a lot of paint to it and just stencil it as best as you can. These stencils are so inexpensive but so cute. Here's the wheel all dried up. Now I'm going to take some of this foam from Dollar Tree. It was the leftover piece from my previous project. I'm going to take a zip tie and just going to stick it right in the middle there. And we're just going to wrap it around one of the center parts. We're going to tighten it nice and tight. And we're going to do the same thing on another one. We are going to add some greenery, florals. So I want to make sure I have something to stick them to. Once it was in place, then it's time to just bring in some greenery. This greenery I did on Amazon as well, and they come in a bundle with tons of them. They're really inexpensive, and I believe I do have them on my Amazon store as well. So I'm just going to speed it up here for you, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add on top and the bottom some greenery, and then I'm going to add some red picks from Dollar Tree.
I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday.
Once I had the red ones in place, I decided I just need a little bit something. So I'm going to add some more of these silver glittery picks right onto the top and the bottom as well. And then I'm going to hot glue the little sign we made right onto the foam. This is going to hold very nicely because that foam is going to melt a little bit and it's going to hold very nicely.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
Now I'm going to add some of these pine cones. This is just going to add more color and texture to the arrangement. And that's about it for this one. I love the way this one turned out. It's such a beautiful design. I love the greenery. I love the wreath form. It's stunning. But don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay around because I'm going to show you the clip from my Christmas tree decor this year. And I can't wait for you to watch it and enjoy it. So stay tuned. We're going to start with this box. This is a microphone that I purchased myself for my editing in my videos, but the box was the perfect size and shape. I'm going to take some craft paper. You can find these at Dollar Tree all the time, and I love wrapping gifts with these craft paper. I love that it's so muted, very natural looking, and if you want to make it very custom, this is the perfect option. You can also go with the white. I'm going to wrap it very simple. Of course, please don't waste paper. I don't know why I cut this. Paper is so big, but just for purposes of showing you, I'm just going to show you something that I really take very seriously when I'm wrapping is I want to make sure that I am tightening and really tugging on those corners and edges because I like for things to look very crisp and very professional, and that's what I do when I'm wrapping my gifts. So just a little tip there for you. So again, no major deal. I'm just going to wrap the box. And once it was done, I am going to take one of these ornaments. They are snowflakes from Dollar Tree. They come 3 in a pack, but I'm only going to use one and spray paint it in this metallic golden tone from Rust-Oleum. Once it was dry, we're going to take some ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut off a piece. It's about, I would say about 24 inches, maybe a little longer. And then I'm going to cut a strip off of it and cut that in half. Then I'm going to slide one of the strips right through the center holes. And then I'm going to flip it over and hot glue it to itself. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side.
We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Once I had them both secure, I'm just going to center the snowflake right in the center of the gift. Flip it over. We're just going to make a very simple knot. No big deal. You can also hot glue it or tape it. A knot was sufficient for me. I'm going to cut off the excess and that's it. We're going to keep it very simple. I think this is stunning. You can also spray paint the snowflake white or green or red. The possibilities are endless.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
For the next wrapping gift idea, I am going to take the same box and I'm going to take this green burlap ribbon. It's beautiful. I had it left over from another project. I'm just going to wrap it around very simple. Again, just starting at the bottom, crisscrossing it on the top of the gift. And then once I'm back on the bottom, I'm just going to make a very simple knot and cut off the excess. Again, you can always hot glue it or tape it. I'm going to take another ornament. This is a beautiful snowflake. It's more of a 3D style, and it's a beautiful white tone. I'm just going to hot glue it right in the center. And then I thought it needed something else. I'm just going to grab some of these greeneries from Dollar Tree and put a couple right underneath the snowflake, and that's it. Such a quick and easy way to upgrade your wrapping gift ideas, and I just think this one is absolutely stunning. Let me know what you think. For the next gift wrapping idea, I am going to take this ribbon. It's a Merry Christmas one. It has more of a farmhouse style to it, and I'm just going to start to hot glue it onto the gift. I'm going to start at the top, and then I'm going to loop it going back and forth to each side, making sure that the design of the ribbon is facing upwards. We're going to make a Christmas tree out of this ribbon. So again, we're just going to keep adding hot glue, wrapping it, kind of like looping it from one side to the other, making sure that each loop is bigger than the one on top.
But the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe.
Once I reached the bottom, I just cut off the excess, and then I decided to add one of these wood stems from Dollar Tree. I just thought the 3D effect, the texture was perfect. These little ribbon stickers are from Dollar Tree, and I just think it added a touch of glitter, and look how cute this is. I think it would be so much fun to do this to your gifts this year. Let me know what you think of this one.
The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way.
All right, so I do not drink wine. We don't drink wine at home, but I had this bottle that resembles the shape of a wine bottle, and I'm going to show you a really cool hack that you can use when wrapping a wine bottle. You're just going to roll around the bottle until you have enough and cut off the excess. Then you're just kind of measure where the neck of the bottle ended, and then you're just going to start cutting strips all the way to that part. I'm going to use my rotary cutter, but you can certainly use scissors. Whatever you have on hand is fine. I'm going to place the cut edges all the way to the neck of the bottle, and then I'm just going to wrap it around and tape it securely. On the bottom of the bottle, I'm just going to simply just wrap it. I am going to cut off some excess paper so it's not too bulky and the wine bottle can actually stand up straight. Once I had it cut, I'm just going to wrap it. So just keep folding it around and around and then taping it securely at the end. Very simple, nothing too complicated. Once I had that in place, I'm just going to grab a very simple string. This is from Dollar Tree. I'm going to kind of just squeeze the strips of paper around the neck of the wine bottle, wrap it with the string, and tie it in a knot. That's it. Once I had it tied, I'm going to cut off the excess strips of wrapping paper to the size that I want. I'm going to take this tag ornament that I found at Dollar Tree recently. I love this ornament. I think it's so cool. I'm just going to add it because that way they get not only a wine bottle, but an ornament as a gift. Then I'm going to add some greenery to it, and that's it for this one. What a fun way to wrap a wine bottle. So inexpensive. You can use any paper you have on hand, and I love adding the tag. For the next gift wrapping idea, I am going to take the same box, except I wrapped it in this beautiful striped red and white paper. I'm going to take one of these little wreaths from these wreath bundles that you can get at Target Dollar Spot for $3. And I'm just going to place it on top. I'm going to have this green burlap ribbon once again. I'm just going to wrap it on one side of the wreath. Once I had it securely with some hot glue, I am going to place it on top of the gift, and we're going to wrap it around the gift to the other side of the wreath. I am going to then place it across it and I'm going to cut off the excess ribbon and hot glue it to the wreath. And then I'm just going to tuck the excess underneath it. Although I love the way it looks, and I think it would definitely look great if it kept like this, but I am going to add a very simple bow, making it with some red ribbon and hot glue it there to the top. And I think it's so stinking cute. I love the simplicity. I love the wreath. Here's a little hack for you. If you have a toilet paper rolls that you've been collecting, because I know I do, you can use them to hold together those wrapping paper. They drive me nuts. And if you tape it, then you know you get the little tear when you remove it. This is such an easy and quick way to keep the wrapping paper secure. And let me tell you, I have all of mine with them and I love it. Such a cool and smart hack. For the next gift wrapping idea, I'm going to take these little earrings. Would be perfect for small little gifts like jewelry or earrings or anything that is small. I'm going to cut off a piece of tissue paper and I'm just going to fold it in half, and then I'm just going to wrap the earrings on it. Nothing major, nothing complicated. And then I'm going to make it as small as I can because we're going to place it inside another toilet paper roll that I have here at home. I am going to take it and just place it right inside. Once I have it tucked in, kind of centered, I'm going to fold one side of the roll one way and then the other side right on top. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Once I had them in place, isn't that looking cute already? I'm going to take this Merry Christmas ribbon from Dollar Tree, cut off a piece of it, and I'm just going to wrap it around the gift box. Just like I did before, wrap it around, crisscross it, go around, and make a very simple bow on top. Once I had the bow already made, I'm just going to take this little bell from Dollar Tree, hot glue it in the center, and that's it. Such a cute little way to wrap these small gifts if you do not have a small gift box. I love this idea.
It's an early December morning.
Here's another way you can wrap a wine bottle. I'm going to take this Dollar Tree sock. They come in a pair. I'm just going to take one, cut off the bottom portion of the sock, and then we're going to just slide the sock right onto the bottle, keeping the top portion in the original top of the socks. I'm going to lift up just a little bit, just pull until the neck of the bottle is covered. I'm going to take this Love Santa ribbon from Dollar Tree, wrap it around the neck, and make a very simple bow. To finish it off, I'm going to hot glue another one of those greenery picks, one little pine cone, and that's it for this one. Such a cozy way to wrap a wine bottle. So inexpensive and so cute, and it doesn't even have to be a Christmas theme one. For the next gift wrapping idea, I'm going to take that same neutral color wrapping paper box, and I am going to take the Hobby Lobby ribbon, and we're going to flip the box to its bottom. I'm going to place the ribbon right across, tape it in place so it stays in place, and then I'm going to take it to the other side and crisscross it. I'm going to take the ribbon to the other side, and I'm going to cut it and hot glue it in place. Now I'm going to take my beautiful daughter's picture from school this year. This will be a great way to give those family members that you are going to give a picture of, maybe grandparents, aunts and uncles, or any relative, and put it right in between the gift and the ribbon. I'm going to add some greenery very carefully not to scratch the picture, and I love the way this one is such a great idea. You can use any wrapping paper, any ribbon, and I think it will look so cute for gift for grandpa or grandma.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the
For the next gift wrapping idea, I'm going to take the neutral color wrapping paper again and some greenery from Amazon, and I am going to hot glue them right on top. And then I'm going to add the other one right on top of that other greenery. This is going to give me the illusion of a branch of a Christmas tree. Then I'm going to take this beautiful music sheet craft paper that I got in a bundle in a book from Hobby Lobby in this ribbon spool just to kind of give me that round circular shape that I need. I'm going to cut it, and then this is going to be an ornament that's going to look like it's hanging from the branches. I'm going to hot glue it right on the bottom right corner of the gift. And then using a ruler and a permanent marker, I'm just going to draw a line from underneath the branches all the way to the gift. I am then going to add one other of those little bows from Dollar Tree stickers. I love these. They have that glittery look. And this one is one of my favorites, guys. It's so simple, so easy. What a beautiful way to customize wrapping a gift. And guess you can even write to and from right on the ornament. Hack, I'm going to use this beautiful bright red wrapping paper, and I am going to cut off a piece. Again, it's going to be about 24 inches, maybe 20 inches, give or take. I'm going to fold it into a piece that's about, I don't know, maybe about 12 inches, 10 inches long or wide. And then I'm just going to fold it into kind of like a little pocket. So we're just going to fold it, leaving some space. And then we're going to fold and flap one end over the other. We're going to create like a little pocket here, because what we're using this piece of wrapping paper is to create a little gift bag, little custom made gift bag. Once I have it in place, now I'm just going to leave that folded portion towards the back of the bag, and then I'm going to fold one end upwards to about maybe 2 inches wide. Once I have it folded, I'm going to fold the edges inside, making sure that those folded lines align with each other. And I'll do that on the other side as well. Then I am going to take one of the sides and I'm going to fold them inwards, making sure it overlaps that middle folded line. And then using my glue stick, I'm going to add just a little strip there and then fold the other one. If you want the gift bag to be wider for a wider gift, just make sure then you fold up wider, so maybe a 4-inch or a 5-inch. Once you have it set, now you have a cute little gift bag. I'm going to fold it a couple times on the top, but you can fold it as many times as you want. And then I'm going to use some of this ribbon to be able to tie a cute little bow on the top. I'm going to make a couple of holes with my crocodile once again, and then thread the ribbon through it. And that's it for this one. Such a clever way to create a little gift bag. I think sometimes things you can't just wrap nice and neat because they're not in a box per se. So I think being able to use the wrapping paper to create a bag is so clever. I love the way this one turned out. For the next gift wrapping idea, I am going to take some of these ties. It's like a garland tie from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut off pieces to hot glue starting at the bottom. I'm going to make a little Christmas tree. The bottom one is going to be the largest one, and then I'm just going to keep cutting. The next branch is going to be smaller than the next.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down.
Once I had all the horizontal ones, I am going to now take the tip of one of the ties and we're going to hot glue it vertically. This is going to give me the top portion of the tree. Then I wanted to add some color. I'm going to add some of these little foam berries. They came in a little bundle. No big deal. We're just going to hot glue them here and there to add some color and interest. And that's it. Tell me this is not the cutest thing. It's so easy. It doesn't even have to be a neutral color wrapping paper. You can do it in any paper you want. I love it. You can even frost the tree to make it look like it's snowed on. It's on home, but we're going to start with 3 of them. I'm going to remove the tags and jute string, and then I'm going to fill in the little holes so that they all look nice and finished. I am using wood filler that I do get on Amazon, and I do have on my Amazon store, along with all of my other Amazon supplies that I love, and it is linked down below. Once it was dry, I'm going to lightly sand down the excess wood filler and dust it and wipe really, really well. I'm going to paint one of the planks in this beautiful bright red by Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the farmhouse red. The second board is going to be painted white with Waverly chalk paint in the white. And the third board is going to be painted in the beautiful moss green by Waverly chalk pen. We're going to start with these tree ones. So they come 3 in a pack and they are beautifully designed. I love the design that can be turned into a farmhouse but also glam it up. We're going to put 1 on each plank. They are going to overlap just a little bit on the edges on the bottom. I'm okay with that. I'm going to tape them to the board using some masking tape and making sure that each tree is as close and level to the next one. I'm going to start stenciling using Essential Stencils brushes, and I'm just going to start with the Waverly chalk pen in the white. And again, I'm just going to dab that brush, making sure there is no excess paint on it.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around.
I'm going to do the stars on this one in a yellow, and then I'm going to do the ornaments in red.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
And now to remove the stencil is the fun part and reveal the beautiful designs. Look how beautiful they complement each other. I love it. Of course, you can add a hook to the back and you can hang them on a wall, but I designed these so that we can place them on a console table or a tabletop, and I just think they are stunning. I love the design. I love that they complement each other and just how easy it was to create.
But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new, 'cause I missed you so
For the next Christmas craft, I'm going to take this wash and dry sign that I made such a long time ago. It never sold in my booth, but I never got rid of it because, why get rid of it? It's such a long piece. It's beautiful. So I'm just going to remove the vinyl from it. I'm going to lightly sand to remove any sticky residue and then also to really lighten up those darker spots from the distress. I'm going to wipe it down really well, and then we're going to start using this Glory to the Newborn King stencil from Essential Stencil. The little Jesus portion, unfortunately, is not going to fit on this board, so we're going to put that one to the side. I'm going to place these stencils one underneath the other, making sure that I spell the phrase correctly. And again, I'm just going to attach it with some masking tape. Once I had them in place, here's a little packet of the set of brushes. They are wonderful. They come in different sizes. And again, here's the technique where you just add a little bit of paint, dab, and then just start tapping on the design. I'm going to speed it up for you. Of course, this is a pretty large stencil, but it took no time. It was really easy, and I really enjoy doing it. I'm going to do the Newborn King in the black by Waverly. This is the ink color. And then the little stars I'm going to do in that Venetian yellow from Rust-Oleum Milk Paint. This really finished it off, added some beautiful detailed color, and I can't wait to show you. The reveal is so stunning. Look how crisp and beautiful this looks. And remind you, you can use these stencils over and over again, and it's so easy. I'm going to take it outside. I'm just going to spray it with a top coat. This is going to allow everything to be sealed. And of course, this is a porch sign, so I want to make sure that it's going to be safe in the elements. Look how stunning this sign is. I love the colors. That design is beautiful. I love it. For this next Christmas craft, I'm going to take this piece of scrap board. It came off of the back of a dresser that I flipped a long time ago. It has some damage, as you can see. So I am going to just angle cut it and remove some of that damage by making it into an oversized tag sign. I thought it just called and screamed for something like that. I took it to my miter saw and I made the cuts and then lightly sanded it. Doesn't it look perfect? You would never know that it had that damage. I'm going to give it one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red. Look how beautiful this looks. That red is just stunning. I am going to use my electric sander to sand down the edges to give it a little bit more of a farmhouse look.
go outside. The snow is
I wiped it
falling
down and dusted it to make sure it's completely dust-free. So let's bring in the next designs. This packet comes with 3 designs in them. Once again, I'm just going to secure the stencil to the board using some masking tape, and we're going to start stenciling. I'm going to do the Merry and Bright in the Waverly Chalk Paint in the white. The leafy are going to be greens in the Moss by Waverly Chalk Paint. And then I'm going to outline the berries with some Waverly ink paint and one of the detailed brushes from Essential
so
Stencil.
much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir perform.
And we're just about done with this one. I'm going to remove the stencil and reveal the beautiful design. Ah, isn't it gorgeous? I thought I'm going to add some greenery to the top. So I'm just going to use these greeneries that I do get on Amazon and I also have on my Amazon store. I'm going to hot glue them on the top. I'm just going to place 2 longer ones first, and then I'm going to use 2 smaller ones to add some fullness and more texture. I'm then going to add some pine cones. I recently went to Target, and on their Target dollar spot, they have these bundles of pine cones. They come in different sizes, shapes, as well as color tones. I'm going to use one of these and hot glue it to the center. And they also have some berries in them. So I'm just going to use one of the berries and hot glue them to the side. Look how beautiful this is. It's actually really large size. The stencil itself was 12 by 16 and it's just stunning.
'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas.
For the next Christmas craft, I'm going to take this piece of scrap board. It's a 6 by 2. And I'm just going to cover some of those holes. This used to be a different project and I just never sold. So I'm just going to reuse it. And I am going to fill in the holes with some wood filler once again. I'm going to do it in all 4 in the front and the back because this one is going to be a double-sided sign. Once it was dry, we're going to bring in the electric sander, although you can use a sanding block or just sanding paper if you must. Once I wiped it really well, I'm going to paint one side in the Waverly Chalk Paint in the white, and the other side is going to be in the Waverly Chalk Paint in the ink. I'm not going to do the sides because I am going to heavily distress each corner and I want it to have a very farmhouse look. Here's that back side in the ink. I'm just going to give it one pretty heavy coat and then let it dry. Once it was dry, I am going to sand down, as I mentioned, the edges pretty heavily using my electric sander, and I'm going to do that in the front and the back. And of course, I wiped it down really well, and now I'm just going to align the design where I want it and secure it with some masking tape. I'm going to start with the black side, and I'm going to stencil it using the Waverly Chalk Paint in the white. And again, just going to do the tapping technique until it's done, and look how beautiful that looks. And I'm going to do the same thing in the back with the Waverly Chalk Paint in the ink. And we're just about done. Let me show you how cute these are. I love it. I love anything that is two-sided because you just get more bang for your buck. I love the design. I love the message because, of course, I love that Christ is the reason for the season, and just the designs of the stencils are just stunning. Christmas craft. I am going to take one of these wood rounds that I get on Amazon, and I also photocopied the scripture in the book of Luke where it talks about Jesus's birth. I'm going to trace the wood round, and then I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to Mod Podge it to the wood round, which will then become an ornament just like you see there on the bottom left corner of the screen. I was inspired by this one that I saw on Pinterest, and I thought I can totally recreate something very similar. I gave it one coat of Mod Podge on top as well, let it fully dry, and now I'm going to use my crocodile to make a hole and thread some of this beautiful buffalo check ribbon from Dollar General. I'm going to knot it, cut off the excess, and then move the knot to the back of the ornament. Then it's time to add some embellishments. Not many, but I am going to add some of these greenery picks that I do get on Amazon. But before we do that, I am going to sand down all of the edges with a sanding block just so that they are smooth and close enough to the wood. Using some hot glue, I'm just going to add these little greenery picks and as well as another ribbon into a bow very easily. Just tie it in the center, cut off the excess, and hot glue it right to the center. I felt like something was missing, so I'm just going to add some very cute little white berries right underneath the bow, and that way it's just going to add more texture and more character. And that's it for this one. I think it turned out so beautiful. I love that it has the scripture from the book of Luke, and I just love that it's so simple and yet so festive. For this next Christmas craft, I'm actually going to take this thrifted sign that I found at the thrift store. I'm going to remove everything from it, including the canvas that it came with. I'm also going to be removing the middle portion, that wooden part, because at first I thought to keep it. I thought it needed the support, but it really did not need it, and it's not going to have a lot of weight to it. So I did remove that part as well. I'm going to give it a good scrub, and then I am going to fill in all the little holes where all the staples were at using some wood filler. This is going to give it a smooth surface, so I'm going to put that to the side while it dries. And now I'm going to start working with the nativity scene that I got at the Target dollar spot for, I believe it was $3. I'm actually going to remove the little manger from it. I'm going to sand down those edges, and then I'm going to stain it using Rust-Oleum chalked glaze in the color brown. And now I'm going to sand down that wood filler all around from the edges. This is so that it is smooth, and then we can start adding some color, although it's just white. So I'm just going to give it 2 full coats of Rust-Oleum chalked paint in the linen white, and I'm going to do the entire thing. I am now going to add the nativity scene using a combination of E6000 glue as well as some hot glue. This is going to attach it permanently and quickly for me, and I'm just going to start adding it all around the inside of the frame. I'm going to add some greenery and some embellishments to the bottom of the frame. I'm just going to staple it and just going to start threading it through that staple. This is going to add texture, color, as well as just some festive decor on it. And I'm just going to add some greenery picks from Amazon that I do get on Amazon all the time. I'm going to add some pine cones as well as some red berries to add some color. And to finalize, I am going to add a nice little silver bell. And that's it for this one. It's definitely one of my favorites from today. It is a huge decor. It is beautiful, it is fresh, and is so festive for the season. For the next Christmas craft, I'm going to take these 3 pieces of 2x4s. They're scrap pieces of wood. One of them is larger than the rest, and they're all going to be for a nativity scene again. This one's going to be a little bit more on the rustic side, so I'm just going to give them one pretty heavy coat of Rust-Oleum chalked paint in the linen white, and then I'm going to sand them down pretty heavily because I wanted to have a farmhouse look, just like my inspiration from Pinterest, which is right there on the left-hand corner. I loved when I saw this. So using my Cricut, I cut out a nativity scene, and I'm just going to place the baby Jesus on the smaller one, and then Joseph on the taller one, and then Mary on the medium-sized one. I didn't have another board to create the star, but I think it turned out super adorable. Such an easy project. Anyone can do this one. For the next Christmas craft, I am going to take this wood round that I do get on Amazon, but you can also find them at Dollar Tree, and they're 12 inches. I'm going to make some marks, and then I'm going to tape off some on the bottom and some on the top so that we can paint in black. And I am using Waverly chalk paint in the ink. This is my inspiration here on the bottom left corner. I'm going to use different colors, but the overall inspiration came from it. I just thought it was beautiful. So again, I'm just going to paint the bottom and the top black, and then the middle is going to go in a bright white. I used my Cricut once again, and I just did a nativity scene as well as added the Christ the Savior is born. I added a combination of red and white, and you'll see how it's going to turn out. Once I had everything set, I'm just going to place it right in the center. It turned out so adorable. And then I'm going to add the red letters underneath the nativity scene, and then the white letters on the black bottom portion. Now it's time to add some greenery picks. Again, these are from Amazon. I'm just going to hot glue them to the top. Some of these bigger ones and then some of the darker, smaller ones right on top. This is going to add some character, just so, again, some festive decor. And then I'm going to add a simple bow. This is going to be a ticking stripe ribbon that I got. I believe it was Dollar General. And I'm just going to make a very simple bow, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with some jute string, and hot glue it right in the center.
I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people.
I added a pine cone just for some festive decor, and then some red picks right underneath the bow. And then I'm going to add some nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Just going to hot glue it to the back so that we can hang the wood round. And I think this one turned out so adorable. I love this one. It's such a festive look. I love the black and white. And I love that it's all about the reason for the season, which is Jesus.
Of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this
on a recent video, I showed you how I decorated my mantle for Christmas for this year. And many of you asked me, where did I get the Christ the Savior sign? And I answered that I made it. So I thought I'd include it in this video because it's appropriate of the theme, but also because I want to show you how I made it. So I took a piece of wood paneling that was 36 inches tall, and then I created a design on my Cricut that says Christ the Savior is born. This was huge. I then started stenciling it using the Waverly chalk pen in the charcoal tone. Before I stenciled it though, I did paint the board using white paint by Rust-Oleum, and I did add very much texture by just adding different brush strokes in different directions. Once I had it stenciled, I removed the whole thing, and you're going to start seeing that it's just looking so beautiful. Then I decided to distress it quite a bit. I wanted it to have a very strong farmhouse look, so I'm going to use my palm sander, and I'm going to distress all of the edges as well as the center. I wanted this to be a two-piece set, so I found this other board. This is a 36 by 12 inch wood board. This is solid wood. I had it in my garage. I sanded it down and gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And then I also created a stencil. This one is a very simple one. It's of an evergreen pine tree. I'm just going to place it right in the center and stencil it the exact same way that I did the Christ the Savior is born. I am going to also distress it pretty heavily all around the edges as well as in the center to give it, again, that farmhouse distressed look that I was looking for. Because this is for me, I distressed it pretty heavily because I really like that look. And then I placed it on the mantle. Now, this is not my mantle for this year, but I did want to show you how it is staged. And I just think it's so stunning. It's so large and beautiful. And this is it for today, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I have another video here for you with tons of Christmas inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.